Well, welcome. Bill Michaels Show on the air today. Good to be back. Good to be home after a week's worth of travel. I love traveling. I really do. I love getting out and seeing everybody. And tomorrow we're going to be back in La Crosse for a cigar dinner. I'm looking forward to that tomorrow night. But after the week and really the weekend prior and this past weekend, it's just good to be home. It's good to be home, sleeping in your own bed. Kind of the comfort of your own couch. There's something very comfortable in your life when you sit down with your own remote control. Does that make sense? That there's something very comforting about that. And last night I just kind of got home and I went, and kind of started flipping through channels. So something very comforting in that. Ben, how'd you do yesterday?
Oh, it was good, Bill. A lot of fun. Fun weekend, obviously, with the sweep of the Reds to talk about. And then all of this. The U.S. Open was tremendous. I think exceeded all expectations.
And so we've got really hypocrisy coming out of the PGA today.
Oh, the frauds are showing their faces, Bill.
Yes, the hypocrisy of it all. Wow, that was somewhat of a stunner this morning. So we'll get into that. Did you see the headline? One of the headlines of the show today over on Twitter or on the Facebook fan page?
No, I missed it.
Okay. It is under the heading of what in the actual F is wrong with people. I sat here and had a conversation last night with a friend of mine. I got home and there's two instances, one from golf yesterday, and you being our resident golf enthusiast, I'm going to ask you a question. And two, I got up early this morning. I had some doctor's appointments this morning, and then I was going to go get my hair cut. And I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to stop and get my hair cut. And something happened there. I kid you not. I'm stunned. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with people? So I'm going to give that coming up here in a little bit. The question I have for you is regarding Brooks Koepka. For those that don't know, Brooks Koepka was outspoken against the LIV Tour. Outspoken. Four-time major winner Brooks Koepka. Outspoken. And then today, he jumps to the LIV Tour. I mean, you talk about the ultimate in hypocrisy. After the U.S. Open this past weekend, he ends up saying, yeah, no problem. It was at the U.S. Open. Brooks Koepka didn't exactly give a resounding show of support for the PGA Tour. He ripped reporters for asking repeated questions about the LIV Tour. He said, there's been no other option at this point, so where else are you going to go? I think this kind of sucks. You all are throwing a black cloud over the U.S. Open. It's one of my favorite events. I don't even know why you guys keep doing that. And that's because it's topical. You idiot. It's topical. It's some of the bigger stars have jumped. And why? For the money. That's the reason. They're leaving for the money. Some people think it's wrong, others don't. Okay, that's fine. No problem. But he was outspoken against it. This is Brooks Koepka talking about the LIV Tour. Take a listen.
Brooks, is there a figure at which you would swap tours? Does that exist? Is it as simple as that?
I haven't given it that much. I haven't given it that much thought.
Really?
I don't understand. I'm trying to focus on the U.S. Open, man. Like, I legitimately don't get it.
Liar.
I'm tired of the conversations. I'm tired of all this stuff.
Liar.
But like I said, y'all are throwing a black cloud on the U.S. Open. I think that sucks. I actually do feel bad for him for once.
Right.
Because it's
liar. Just a complete liar.
Like, we're here to play, and you're talking about some event that happened last week.
Well, there's events going to be going on now for the next foreseeable future.
I know, but you can't drive a car looking in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, liar. Man, what a liar. Wow. And then you know more than get the hell out of the U.S. Open. The U.S. Open in the rearview mirror, and the only thing that's ahead of you is the LIV Tour and the cash. Wow. So Brooks Koepka jumping this morning saying, nah, baby, nah, off he goes. There you have it. Were you shocked by this, Ben?
No, given Koepka's character, it really didn't shock me in the grand scheme of things that have shocked me in the golfing world. Like there have been other guys that go over that have really, made me gasp. You've seen the signs. He doesn't like playing that much. He just likes the money and he likes the majors.
Yep.
I do think it sucks, though. I think it sucks that he's a complete fraud in front of a microphone and puts on this facade so the fans kind of like him until he just jets out. I think it sucks for the sport because he's undoubtedly a guy that a lot of people hate, some love, but he's one that has had a lot of success and is a big name. The more these big names go, I can't just say it's okay they're going for the money. They're ruining the sport. So it sucks on a lot of fronts, and I'm disappointed in him.
There is a level in which eventually we believe, the LIV Tour is here to stay for quite some time, and we know that. But eventually something is going to happen. You just hope that whenever this happens, that these guys are young enough to try to come back to the PGA Tour and have to then answer these questions legitimately. It's just, my God, the hypocrisy, the lying, just amazing. Now, look, if you're going to go and you're going to do that, go for it. It is what it is. No problem. If you're just going to be honest about it and say, look, I'm jumping for the money. They're paying a lot more money. We're going to go there. Why would we want to stay here? We got to do all this for the PGA, and they don't pay the same amount of purses, and on and on and on. Okay, you can respect that. But this guy, what an ass clown. There you go. Wisco Doldino, the selfish media think they're so high and mighty. Because well, first of all, I don't think we're high and mighty. I think the answer was a lie. Period. That's all it is. And it's not just the media. There's a lot of people in the sport that feel that these guys have basically sold their soul to the devil, and that's exactly what they've done. For certain people that set up this tour, the atrocities that have gone on in Saudi Arabia, in numerous different ways. And people just say it's okay as long as they're paying us. No big deal. So that's why. If you don't understand it, you don't follow it, then it's kind of an ignorant statement to hit enter. So anyway, I just think it's, and again, we're coming down on Koepka because Koepka was the guy that said, no way. He was like preaching against the LIV Tour. That's where the hypocrisy comes from. Just so we're clear on that. 877-867-1670. If you want to hit us up, feel free. Give us a shout. No problem. Otherwise, you can hit us up over on Twitter at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels, at Ben C. Kenny. You can find Ben there. You can also follow us on Facebook fan page at The Bill Michaels Show, the YouTube channel. Always a great place to find us. Go to youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. I highly encourage you, if you want to listen to the program continuously, download the app. Download the app on your Apple iTunes store, on the Google Play Store, whatever it happens to be. Go in and just find The Zone Madison, ZONE Madison, and our flagship station. You can also download the app and listen to us anywhere and everywhere. So that was the big news of the day out of the world of golf. That's a little bit. I'm again not shocked, but the fact that he was rather emphatic about the LIV Tour not being the place to go to now jump ship. And then, are you happy that Nick Faldo, Ben, is retiring from the CBS Sports booth?
So Koepka comes out during the Open, and we heard it. He said, "Why are you guys putting a black cloud on the U.S. Open?" I can't believe Koepka's putting a black cloud on Faldo stepping down.
Right.
As a passionate viewer of the sport, I think it's the best news I could have ever gotten.
I thought you might say that.
And listen, I like him, but he's unbearable on the broadcast. So Trevor Immelman is stepping in. I love Trevor. So that was great news. And then Koepka threw a black cloud on it.
Right. Yeah, I saw that and I thought, boy, yeah, that's I'm sure you're doing some kind of happy dance somewhere. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You want to find us, feel free. Again, 877-867-1670. You can hit us up. Would love to hear from you. Just a lot of golf stuff going on. And then obviously the Brewers, and that was the big news yesterday or over the weekend when Lo Cain DFA'd. And they Brewers have been winning. They sweep the Cincinnati Reds. They get a win last night. The return of Josh Hader to the lineup last night, comes in, does his job. They get a hard-fought 2-0 win. And all of a sudden you look at the Brewers and you go, okay, a week ago when we were talking, they had just gotten a win. They were heading to Cincinnati. We were kind of hoping for the best there. And you thought, oh, boy, if they would lose a couple to the Reds, oh, man. All of a sudden, by the time they come out of the weekend and last night, things have changed dramatically because when we last talked, they were 2 games back in the standings. Today, they come back, they're a game up. They have retaken the lead in the National League Central, 1 game over the St. Louis Cardinals, 39-30. They're only 6 games now behind the best record in the National League. That's 45-24, held by the New York Mets. They're only a game behind the West leader, that is the LA Dodgers. So things are trending in the right direction for the Milwaukee Brewers. Although the team that leads all of baseball in wins right now is the dreaded New York Yankees. They are the empire of evil. They're at 50-17. 50-17. So there you have it. Look, the Brewers, they've started to hit. They've got timely hitting. The pitching is somewhat come back. That's been good. But we talked about Lo Cain last week. And how do I put this? The numbers that he was putting up, and we talked about this in the sense that I thought they'd get to the All-Star break and just tell him, hey, you know what? We need this roster spot. If you're not going to pick it up, we need the roster spot. And Lo Cain had already, in different areas, has spoken about the end of his career, about getting to that 10-year service mark. It was like this milestone. Let's get to this mark, and then we'll call it a career. So once he got there, it was kind of like, okay, we gave you the honor of, kind of hanging out and get to your 10-year service mark. And that changes in your pension with Major League Baseball. Okay. Thanks for the service. Thanks for the service. Talk to you later. The numbers just aren't there. And I get it. And even I had mentioned this, go back to that series when they were in Chicago and there was that drive that was hit to the gap. And I think it was between him and Hunter Renfroe, but something that normally he cuts off. And not only did he not cut it off, he didn't really bend over to get the ball. And I'm not saying he was dogging it. I'm just saying that maybe age has caught up with him. And because that to me was it's kind of like when Mitch Trubisky outran Clay Matthews in Clay's last year as a Green Bay Packer. When Mitch Trubisky got around the outside and Clay could not close the gap and catch him, because that was always Clay's forte, was running down quarterbacks from behind because he had good wheels. When he couldn't catch Mitch Trubisky, I said, that's it right there. That's the moment at which you say, that guy's lost it. He's lost his step. Lo Cain, same thing. Ball hit into the gap, and it's not like he didn't get to it, because he did, but the ball went under his glove and rolled to the wall. And it went from being what should have been just a long single. Instead, it became an RBI double. And it changed the tide of the game. And that's when I thought, okay, I think he's lost his step. And sure enough, I think the Brewers saw the same thing. So Lo Cain out as a Milwaukee Brewer. Not shocking at all, though, Ben, right?
No, and I think we talked about this yesterday, actually equated it to what Goody did with Kirk Benkert in releasing him. It was done with total class as well from the organization perspective. But yeah, not shocking. When you look on the field, I mean, he just wasn't able to give you anything, even as a locker room guy, bat every once a week maybe. But yeah, it just wasn't there.
Yeah, it wasn't turning around. It was just kind of toiling there. And I give David Stearns credit. They got him to the 10-year service mark. However, they didn't just hang on. They didn't keep saying, well, he's going to turn it around. Well, maybe. What? No, they just said, you know what? It's not happening. And if it's going to happen for him, it's not going to be here. We are in the midst of what we would consider to be a playoff push. And we can't afford to just let at-bats and games consistently go by the wayside. So sure enough, they picked it up, and there you go. So I wish him the best, because Lo Cain, I'll say this, I think he's a good guy. When he came up with the organization, he was a class act. I had a chance to interview him numerous times, see him numerous times, was always cordial, was always decent, and you wish him nothing but the best. Nothing but the best. But it was time. It was time. So I give the organization credit in that aspect. So that's kind of setting the stage. When we come back, Ben, I'm going to ask you, because two different scenarios, one this hour, one next hour. I'm going to ask you if we were right in this, and secondly, what you would have done in this particular situation. It involves golf. So I'm sure at this point in time, you are salivating at the thought of what might be. Stay tuned. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network. Tomorrow night, back at it again, and it looks to be a good weather night. Wednesday night live at the Wisconsin State Fair Park on the Bud Pavilion. It's going to be rocking again tomorrow night. 6 o'clock, the gates open. 7 o'clock, music starts. $10 to park your car. Free admission for everybody. No charge to park a motorcycle. Stop on down and say hello. It is going to be a great night tomorrow night at the Wisconsin State Fair Park. And it's all brought to you by our friends at Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
Ready? This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The Thunder is back, and you don't want to miss it. June 30th through July 3rd. It's the NASCAR Cup Quick Trip 250 and the Xfinity Series Henry 180. For tickets, go to roadamerica.com.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Yesterday, coming back out of golf outing that I had a chance to go to, played a little bit, just not able to move too much, unfortunately. But I stopped over at Smoke on the Water on the way home and saw my buddy Joe Hennis and Ellen, and they're hiring some people. But I'll tell you this, like many places, they are now paying top dollar to get some cooks and chefs and such in their restaurants. Both Sloppy Joe's and Smoke on the Water. They are desperate. So if you are looking for a job and your family, your friends, whatever, if you can cook, if you've got any culinary skills at all, get a hold of our friends over there at Sloppy Joe's, which is on Hubertus Road in Hubertus, Wisconsin, or Smoke on the Water, which is in Okauchee Lake. Beautiful place, beautiful location. And they do some smoke, especially if you're into the smokers and such. They are looking for people to help. And I was talking to him yesterday. He's like, Bill, we're over $20-$25 an hour for people that, have a little bit of culinary skills. Just, try to get that, dishwashers, all that kind of stuff. The back end of restaurants are really suffering. And if you are sitting at home collecting on your ass right now, get out and do something. And work for a living, for God's sakes. Or if maybe you're coming out of school and you got some culinary skills, we want to show them off. You want to start someplace. Joe and Ellen, they really take great care of their people. So again, check them out. Smoke on the Water and Sloppy Joe's. Stoley's Hog Alley is too. I mean, they're hiring too, but Sloppy Joe's and Smoke on the Water, and Joe and Ellen Hennis, get a hold of both of them and they can help you out. So Ben, yesterday on the golf course, I got to bring this up. So the first instance I'm going to bring up is yesterday. So we were out playing, and it was one of those days where, and it wasn't the people that were ahead of us or the people ahead of them. There was like 2 or 3 groups up that were just ungodly slow. A golf outing should never take 6 hours. And it was a 6-hour golf outing yesterday. You ever played one of those?
No, but that can't happen.
6-hour golf outing yesterday was 96 degrees, 94 degrees here in the area. But it wasn't humid. It wasn't terrible. I mean, some people are just going crazy. It's like, stop. This is really warm weather, but it's not terrible. But so we're playing, and there was one guy and 3 women ahead of us. And that was their foursome. And we were pretty good. I mean, they weren't great golfers. And we got 2 guys with us that could really bomb the golf ball and play really, really well. But it was just a long, long day. I'm talking sometimes 15 minutes on a tee box waiting for them to be able to hit their second shot and third shot, because we couldn't hit our second shot, or our first shot, I should say, because their second shot wasn't near as long as our first shot. So we waited. So we go around the course. We're probably about 6 holes to go. And things started to pick up a little bit. And we were on a tee box. And the golf course, the fairway, it was a par 5, long par 5. And it's kind of a slight bear off to the right. And it's tree lined. Okay. And it had been a long, long day. I mean, a lot of waiting for a lot of stupid stuff. Where the cart girl comes in the middle of the fairway and they're doing transactions that take 10 minutes, that type of thing, right? So they clear the fairway, nobody there. So we went ahead and hit. And there's one guy with us, his name's Ken, and he can bomb. I mean, he's a 325 guy pretty consistently. I mean, he can bomb and he can hit it pretty much anywhere he wants it. He's that good of a player. What we didn't see was they had pulled off the fairway and the women were spraying themselves down with sunscreen. And when we hit, it's because we went right along the tree line, because it cut the course, or cut the hole location. And it also cut off maybe another 50 yards of hole. It was a perfect drive, but unfortunately, they were up around the trees and the ball went through the trees and into the fairway. But in doing so, it rolled up next to their golf cart. So they finished playing out, because we didn't see them. By the time we turned the corner, there they are. So they finished playing out the hole. We finished playing out the hole. And we waited for them to tee off to the next hole. So as they teed off, we pulled forward. Now, one guy hits, and then the other 3 women have to play from the women's tee. So they drive their golf carts up to the women's tee. So then we drove our golf carts up to the men's tees. After they hit, the guy with his, I guess it's his girlfriend, turns around and drives back. Now, this guy's not necessarily, we'll say, the most physically imposing person. But he comes back and he says, you guys need to play through? You got a problem? And just starts to get in our face. Now, let me also preface this by saying the 2 guys that he's talking to are both, one is in the FBI and one's a sheriff. So he's talking to 2 cops. And Ken, the one officer who is now partially retired, he plays 5-6 days a week, and he's the most etiquette-played golfer I know. I mean, you talk about fixing greens, you talk about, not hitting on people, being courteous, just like if he has any trash at all, it goes right in the can. Anything that blows out of the golf cart, he goes and picks up. I mean, this is a guy that he plays and lives and breathes and eats the game. This guy begins to get in his face. And so it was one of those polite things to say, excuse me, said, we couldn't see you. And then he said, and you don't stop in the middle of the course to go put on sunscreen. You do that in the tee box as you're waiting to tee off. This kid then begins to get a little bit uppity. Like he's going to show in front of his girlfriend that he's got hops, right? That's about the time Ken's brother got out of the golf cart and said, you need to move on. And we're sitting there looking at each other like, you don't understand that 1, we couldn't see you. 2, you don't have etiquette to do that in the middle of the course. And 3, you're rolling up on people. As if you're just daring us to get out of the golf cart and beat the hell out of you, and so you tell me, did we do anything wrong as the resident golf enthusiast on our program?
Absolutely not. I feel like if anything, you might have been a little too nice to the guy. Like I've been in settings before where balls have been hit maybe into somebody or near somebody. If someone didn't see something happening, whatever it is, I feel like they always end in, I always drive up and apologize, or the other way around. It's always like my bad. And then you go about your business. The people who see something like that happen and then immediately go for confrontation, I think are the worst out there in the world. So I don't think you guys did anything wrong. If anything, maybe should have been a little harsher and to come at more him and his golf game as he was getting ready to finish the round.
See, we all looked at it. We were a little stunned because, we felt bad. We're like, hey, sorry, that type of thing. But it's, it was like, wow, really? This is where it is? This is what you're going to actually roll up on somebody like that? So that was
slashed his tires.
Yeah.
Made him walk.
Right. But I'll say this. You could clearly tell that his girlfriend was embarrassed by his actions. She held her head down and looked away from us the entire time. I mean, would not even make eye contact with our golf cart. She was like looking over to see if maybe the woods were on fire. She knew he was just being kind of this jack. And I thought, well, maybe he's got some liquid courage in him or something. It was a hot day. Maybe he drank a few beers, but I thought, are you serious? Just what is wrong with people? You know what? Let me do this. I'll follow I'll give you the second story because this is indicative as to where people are. And it's I understand why people get frustrated because I was talking to a buddy of mine last night. I'm like, I'm getting to the point where I can't stand people because I just genuinely just want to be happy and go about my life. I swear to God, I do. And some of these things that people do this morning, you think that was stunning when a guy rolls up on you like that. You think that was stunning. Wait till you hear what happened next. This happened about, what time is it? 10:30? This happened an hour and a half ago. And you tell me. Stay tuned. We got more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network. Things in Wisconsin that are meant for each other.
Beer and brats.
Now you're talking.
Chicago and playoff losses.
Delicious.
Sunshine in Pella windows.
Gina Della from Pella.
44% more natural light enters your home when we install our innovative hidden screen. Available exclusively on Pella 250 series single hung, double hung, and sliding windows. It's super easy and sleek. The window screen folds away when closed, keeping it clean from the elements and preventing bugs from entering your home thanks to a tight seal. Best of all, you and your home get to bask in all of that extra sunlight.
Yeah, but the wear and tear from opening and closing screens.
It was designed and tested to last 9,400 cycles, the equivalent to opening and closing it every day for 25 years.
Man, that's got to be expensive.
Choose 0% financing for 72 months or a free upgrade to the hidden screen in our 250 series.
Whoa, I need to jump on that now.
Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. See Pella Experience Center for details.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. Good to have you. Gino says, you do this show and you still like people? That's amazing. You're a better person than I am. I do. I tell you this, I love getting out and because doing the show here is easy. I do it from home in the studio here at the house. I get up, I do my thing in the morning, and then I come to work and I'm right here. And I don't get a chance to interact as much with people as I like. But when I get a chance to get out, such as the golf outing in Rice Lake last week, and being able to go around town and see a few people and say hello, and yesterday at the Chamber golf outing and doing some stuff for charity and meeting and networking and doing different things. I love that. If I could do the show out every day, I'd do it out every day. Love it. But it just sometimes, man, people just, it's amazing to me. It just is that people are just kind of this way. So this morning, and we'll get back into the sports aspect of this. It's just a follow-up as to what we were doing earlier. So this morning, Ben, I got up and I had to go to the doctor, and I just figured on my way back, because I leave tomorrow. I'm going to be in La Crosse, back on Thursday for some additional things medically, and then I got some stuff on Friday, and then the weekend's kind of shot. I've got some stuff going on this weekend, and then next week there's only like a day or two that's available, and then we're going to be doing some stuff at Road America and in conjunction with the NASCAR race, and then after that I leave on vacation. So there's not a lot of time. I wanted to get my hair cut, and I know it's kind of crazy, but I just wanted to stop off. There's a Supercuts like right up the street from me, and I know if I get there early, I can be the first one in, 9 a.m., get my hair done, and I can be out of there by 20 after at the latest, and I can get home, and I can get everything ready to go for the show. So, and I can do a lot of work in my car on my phone and my computer in a jetpack. So I'm good. So I got there this morning, and I had a conference call at 8:30. So I got to the parking lot of the Supercuts at like 25 after 8. And I'm doing my conference call, and I see the girl that's opening up the Supercuts comes in, and she comes in the back door, and for the little strip mall area, comes in the back door, and she's kind of opening things up and turning the lights on, all this stuff. So I know they open at 9. It gets to be 8:57. Okay. And I see her walking around, and I finished up my call and I'm done. And I go to get out of the car. Just as I get out of the car, a woman pulls up. Now, I will preface this by saying she wasn't from Cudahy, I'll tell you that. She obviously had some type of money. She's driving up in a Mercedes and getting out with either real or fake Gucci slides on and all that stuff. So she's got a little bit of money. So she's a small woman. And I'd probably guess her age to be mid-50s to early 60s, somewhere in there. And as I'm walking up, she gets out of the car. I'm like, "Hi, how you doing?" I open the door for her, but I've been there, but I open the door for her, and she walks in. She doesn't say thank you, good morning, go F yourself, nothing. Doesn't say anything to me. Walks right up to the counter. And the girl behind the counter says, "Hi, good morning, welcome to Supercuts, whatever." And the woman starts to talk, and she goes, "Well, excuse me, ma'am, he's been in the parking lot, and I've seen him waiting the entire time. He actually is here first." And this woman felt that because she got to the counter first, that should make her first. And so the girl was very kind, said, so if you could just give me a couple of minutes, I'll get you checked in. But I do want to get to this gentleman first. He was here. And the woman then becomes like almost now I will say this, she was speaking a foreign language. And I'm not going to tell you which language, but she was speaking a foreign language. And she's firing off like anger at this point. And all I did was turn to her because she's now getting, like from 0 to 60 irate. And I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. She turns to me, both hands, and shoves me in the chest. I kid you not. Now, Ben, I think you would have moved me farther had you been standing in front of me and farted. Didn't really move me much. But I was like, wow, this woman shoved me. As if to say, I belong here. So then she goes off. She's now, I was here at the counter first. You need to take me first. I come here all the time. And the girl's like, ma'am, I'm sorry. He was here first. And the minute she shoved me, the girls went, ma'am, that is on our video camera. You can either leave or I'm calling the police. And this woman then went into this tirade and like takes her arm and swipes and moves me out of the way now and leaves. And I'm like, holy crap. What the F is wrong with people? That this is where we're at. So again, I didn't do anything because it didn't mean anything to me, didn't hurt me. But that was the experience this morning. No reaction to that. I'm not looking for anybody to say who was right, who was wrong. What I'm saying is that's where that's people. This is what kind of a society we're becoming. It's like, holy crap. Couldn't believe it.
Bill, this happened at Supercuts?
It was at Supercuts. It was at Supercuts. And the girl even said, ma'am, I can get to, like right before the woman went crazy, she said, man, I can get to you in 15, 20 minutes. And it's just, she wanted to be first. She felt, for whatever reason, she had the privilege to be first. She tried to do the online check-in, and the girl even said, ma'am, I guess she's seen her before. She said, I've told you before, you can't check in until we actually open. But I was just like, wow. This is where, so I'm sitting here thinking to myself, you understand societally some of the problems we have because this is just the way people are. And this wasn't from like a young kid, some kind of young privileged, the girl was one of the younger generation, so to speak. She was probably 25 to 30 at best. But I was just stunned. Just stunned.
I think the solution there could have been the same as the golf situation. You just go straight for the tires of the car.
Right? I will say, and I have to admit,
you did go for the tires?
No, I did want to say, by the way, your Mercedes is old and crappy, but I didn't. So, it was an older Mercedes. It was a big car, but it was an older car, But yeah, but that was my experience at Supercuts of all places. Not that it's appropriate to do that anywhere, but at Supercuts, So anyway, yeah. But that was the morning. So I've had two experiences with people that are just out of their freaking minds. It's like, what's wrong with people? I don't know. There you go. Anything else you got on that before we move on?
I'm just dumbfounded that someone wanted to skip to the front of the line at Supercuts. No offense, but I've had some nightmare scenarios at that barber shop. It is the worst. It's the worst establishment in this country.
See, I go early or I go late. I don't go in the middle of the day. I've been down that road, And you know what? Usually early in the morning, it's people that are a little bit older or people that are retired or what have you. And I understand that, but I usually get there really early. So I'm the first one in to get it done because I only live, if I don't hit a stoplight, I may be 4 minutes away. So I know I can get home. I can get, my stuff done, get on the air and get ready to go. But it was just convenience. And I was just taken aback. there's not many times that I'm just stunned by human behavior. This was one of them. This was one of those instances where it's just like, really? Wow. What is wrong with people? And I have become now because I can be an agitated ass. I understand that. But I have become now and really concentrated on be the happy guy, be the greeter. Hey, how you doing? Nice to see you. Thank you. The polite. I'm like going out of my way now. Maybe it's just age. Maybe it's experience. I don't know. I don't want to say it's because I'm older. It's just I'm gaining that experience of you kind of do get treated a little bit better. You're a breath of fresh air in today's society if you're nice, whether it's to a police officer or the server at a restaurant. It's just if you're nice, you are the breath of fresh air because everybody else seems to be just this ginormous jag. So anyway, that was my morning. Welcome to my morning. Let's do this. We're going to step away, take a quick break. We'll kind of put the train back on the track. Stay tuned. We got more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Hey, reminder coming up on Sunday, September 4th. We need your help. Need your help. If you can join us, if you ride a motorcycle or know somebody who does, Get registered. It's the 15th annual poker run benefiting Fisher House, Wisconsin. And we need you to sign up and get pre-registered because remember, only for those who pre-register, there's going to be a drawing and you can win one of 4 prize packages, one of them being tickets to a Bucks game and a suite and some tickets to an Admirals game. We got tickets to a Brewers game and some gift cards to Potawatomi Hotel Casino. We have also got one package is a Badger game, Badger football game and a tailgate. And in addition to that, we also coming up in the 2023 race season, you can win tickets to the Superbike week, the IndyCar week, and the NASCAR race. So we've got one of those 4 prize packages you could win. And so you got a 4 in however many, people that pre-register chance of winning that. And that's only for those who pre-register. So please get pre-registered for this event. It's going to be a great one. The ride is spectacular. We can't say thanks enough to our friends at Growth Law Firm, GROTH. They are backing bikers' rights all over the country. They're great people right here in our own backyard. One of the top biker law firms in the country, as a matter of fact. Also, our friends at Great Lakes Dragaway. I did have a couple of buddies that took Dad down to see some of the races this past weekend, and they're all car guys. They're 2 of them collect like Corvettes and such, and they're going to do the track rental. You can rent the track down there at Great Lakes Dragaway. Go to greatlakesdragaway.com. You can rent the track, whether it be for a couple of hours or a whole day if you got a bunch of people. But you rent the track and you can go down and see how fast you can get going in the quarter mile. You're good to go. But check out Great Lakes Dragaway as well. And then our friends over at the Rock Complex in Franklin, our friends at Alpine Valley, both the resort and the theater, and also our friends at Knucklehead and Wisconsin Harley-Davidson. But get pre-registered for that thing. Go to, there's 2 ways to pay attention to all the details. Go to facebook.com/big unit poker run, facebook.com/big unit poker run, or you can simply go to fisherhousewi.org, fisherhousewi.org. And then all you got to do is click on the events page and you'll find the link right there. Get registered. Good to go. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to hit us up, please feel free. Go ahead and do so. So Tony Busby announced in a statement that all but 4 of the civil lawsuits against the Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson have now been settled. How about that? The case against Deshaun Watson started off with a phone call for one of the brave, strong women. The woman was Ashley Solis. And at the time of the call, she was just one of hundreds of calls seeking legal assistance that our firm gets weekly. Even though she was originally turned away because of our screening process, my staff insisted that I personally speak with her. I'm glad she persisted. Once we took a second look after having contact with Watson's original attorney, who disrespected Ashley and her profession and who arrogantly minimized the conduct of someone he referred to as a, quote, asset, I was convinced that our law firm should try to help her. As a result of Ashley's lone, brave voice, soon many women who had allegedly experienced the same conduct were emboldened to step forward. I am incredibly proud to represent all of them. They've endured vile criticism and fanatical ignorance. They faced withering cross-examination by skilled litigators and stood firm. They are all warriors. Today, we have an important announcement about these cases, but it is important to point out that without Ashley Solis, the conduct experienced by these women would likely have continued unfettered. The truth is, without her courage and willingness to come forward, the NFL would not currently be contemplating discipline. There would be no examination of how teams might knowingly or unknowingly enable certain behavior. Sports teams wouldn't be reviewing their personal screening process, and this important story would not have dominated the sports headlines for more than a year. Today, I announce that all the cases against Deshaun Watson, with the exception of 4, have now been settled. We are working through the paperwork related to those settlements. Once we have done so, those particular cases will be dismissed. The terms and the amounts of the settlements are confidential. We won't comment further on those settlements of those cases. As stated, Ashley Solis, one of the heroes of the story, her case has not been settled, and thus her story and that of the other 3 brave women will continue. I look forward to trying these cases in due course, consistent with the other docket obligations and the court's schedule. How about that? How about that? So, again, we don't know. We'll find out, I'm sure, at some point what the settlement was. We don't know what the settlement was, but the fact that there's a settlement, and you would assume we're talking millions of dollars here. You would assume that Deshaun Watson, in some way, shape, or form, as we all knew, look, hey, once this hit, and once the Houston Texans were named in the suit, we said either one of two things. One, it's going to move forward criminally at some point, or this is going to get done, because now you're talking about the lawsuit against an NFL team. And I'm sure the NFL started to delve into this and said, okay, this ends. We're going to get this thing out of the headline. We got enough bad things going on right now, and we need to figure out, and the Browns too. The Browns are probably like, we need to figure out if we got a quarterback. What do we got to do to pay this, to pay this guy either his contract or to pay him off to get the hell out of here? So you kind of figured this was on the horizon, but 20 of 24 lawsuits against Deshaun Watson have now been settled. You would assume that there are 20 new millionaires that are out there with the contract that he signed. But now that this is pretty much done, now the NFL is going to probably move forward and move on with their discipline of Deshaun Watson. There you go. That's some more breaking news. Koepka jumps to the Live Tour, and the lawsuits against Deshaun Watson have now been settled. Stay tuned. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show. It's coming up right after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
The Brewers have first place in the NL Central to itself for at least a day after beating the St. Louis Cardinals 2-0 at American Family Field last night. The Crew would get their 2 runs courtesy of a Tyrone Taylor in the 5th inning, but the star of the show was starting pitcher Corbin Burns. The reigning Cy Young Award winner would go 7 innings, allowing just 2 hits while striking out 10. Here's more from Craig Counsell on his ace.
That's what great pitchers do. I think, there's a little bit of sense of the moment and deliver something big. Knows this, that we're starting off a big series, and got our best guy on the mound. And he delivered a great start, and that's what you rely on from your ace, and Corbin delivers that quite frequently.
The Brewers would also see the return of Josh Hader off the paternity list. He would come in the 9th to pick up his 20th save of the season. Brewers and Cardinals back at it tonight at AmFam Field. First pitch is at 7:10.
Want to save even more at Fleet Farm? Well, now you can with Fleet Rewards. It's free to sign up, and there's no credit card required. Using Fleet Rewards is easy. Earn points every time you shop. Plus, get exclusive member offers, birthday and anniversary perks, free tire rotations, and more. Download the Fleet Farm app or create an account at fleetfarm.com/rewards to start earning points today. Fleet Farm, proudly serving the Midwest since 1955.
The NBA's draft is set for this Thursday in Brooklyn. Now, the Milwaukee Bucks own the 24th pick in the first round, though it could be used for a potential trade prior to draft night. One guy who is projected to be gone before them, though, would be Wisconsin's Johnny Davis, as the All-American is set to go in the top 12, becoming the first Badger pick since Frank Kaminsky and Sam Decker, who went in the first round in 2015. For the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network, I'm Ebo.
Hour number 2 of the Bill Michaels Show. Good to have you on board today. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Forgotten Fire Winery up in Peshtigo, Wisconsin. Good people up there. And if you see it in the stores, get it. Good stuff. Many different I shouldn't say brands, many different types of wines, but they are not pretentious. They are not snooty. If you want to put ice in it, put ice in it. If you want to drink red with white meat and fish, do it. If you want to just enjoy some of their ciders, do it. All they care about is that you enjoy it and you drink it. It's not about being pretentious, and it's not about being snooty. Yeah, they've won awards. They got medals all over the joint up there, but they're just happy to be happy. You know, that's what today's show is about. Be happy. You know, after the 2 experiences I explained in the first hour of the program of people that are just angry, looking for confrontation, it's like, come on, man. Just be happy. Just enjoy yourself. It's summertime, for God's sakes. And don't forget about ForgottenFireWinery.com. That is ForgottenFireWinery.com. Good people up there. Good people. So the 2 breaking stories of the day. One is Tony Busby just announces that all but 4 of the cases against Deshaun Watson have been settled. All but 4. And that now is beginning to move forward. And then also Brooks Koepka breaks free. He is now part of the Live Tour after condemning those that jumped.
I think he's a bum.
Yes. After condemning those that jumped, he is now jumping. So there you go. Yep. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. There you go. Ben, so I was telling this story about just people in general, about kind of how it just people around us totally suck sometimes. You had an experience on Saturday?
Oh, man.
I was just getting back to this. What happened to you?
I told this story yesterday, and when you say it in words, it makes me sound like I'm an awful person, but I brought it to the court of public opinion more for a judgment than anything.
Okay.
So
we're good at this too. So bring it on.
So I was out with some friends on Saturday night, walking to one of the fine establishments in downtown Madison.
Okay.
And we're walking, it's on State Street, where cars don't go down that street. And there are a lot of bikers that go down the middle of it, and buses and public vehicles. So we're walking down the sidewalk. There are 4 or 5 of us, so we're taking up most of it. And I'm very used to hearing beeps as I go, like, about my day, right? Whether it's a car beep or whatever it is. So there's this beeping that's happening. I didn't know what it was. And my friend says, "Hey, Ben." So I turn around, and there's this guy in this motorized scooter that has just been sitting on his little tiny horn for, I don't know, like a minute, waiting to pass me, because we were walking in no K pace. So finally I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." So I stepped to the side to let him by. Had no idea he was there. And as he slows down as he goes by me and turns to me and says, "Get the F out of my way, you effing A." Obviously.
Really?
Paraphrased to take out the profanity. Just threw the most snide remark at me that I've ever experienced someone walking by me or driving by me say. So I was kind of caught off guard because I didn't expect it to come from this guy. But then he drives this motorized scooter chair thing to a convenience store and gets up and walks in. So we walk right by, like a minute and a half later, and his scooter's sitting outside. My friend goes, "Hey, Ben, you should just slash his tires and make him walk the rest of the night," which I did not do. I didn't really do anything. I didn't say anything back. I was shocked at first, and then it kind of fired me up. But I was wondering whether, like, I would have felt like a bad guy for coming back at this guy that was driving a, motorized scooter.
First of all, if you just didn't hear him legitimately, that's one thing. I get that. I see, here's the thing. I'm very cognizant all the time of stuff. Because Kristen will start talking. We'll be doing that. We'll walk down a sidewalk, or we'll walk through a mall, or we're going through a crowded area, and she likes to walk side by side. She likes to hold my hand, but she likes to walk side by side. And I am very cognizant of my size. And that's just me, because I've been that way since I was in 5th grade. I've always known of my size. And so I'm very cognizant of allowing others around me and making sure, because I hate it. Oh my God, I hate it when I see people coming at me and it's 4 wide and they're waiting for me to step into the street, that type of thing. So, but no, if you're just legitimately walking down the street and you just didn't realize it, granted, you can say, oh man, I'm sorry, we didn't see you there, whatever. I mean, and you can be apologetic. It depends on how you handle it, I guess. But just to sit there and listen to somebody, MF you, usually I'll go, hey, excuse me, that type of thing, and go from there. This guy's just blowing a horn. First of all, come on, man, put an air horn on a scooter or something like that, because I'm assuming it's that little meep, meep, meep. Yeah, it's that one. Right?
Even quieter than that.
Really? Okay. Because I used to have.
Oh, that thing could not have woken a baby.
Really? I used to have one on my boat. I swear to God, it sounded like a man wheezing on my boat. And I had no idea what that horn was there for, other than maybe just because it's something you're supposed to have. But it used to go, huh. And that was it. It sounded like, like an old dude getting up off the toilet. It was terrible. So I get it. If it was a really light horn and you're just out in the traffic and the natural sounds and you didn't realize what it was, I get it. I don't have a problem with it. In the court of public opinion, I would not have faulted you. I fault his reaction more because apparently his patience were, minuscule, rather than saying, excuse me, hey guys, something like that, which is what I would have done. So
one caller yesterday said I should have retaliated physically.
What are you going to do? Beat a guy on a scooter?
Well,
you can't
clearly
do that.
not.
Come on. You can't do that. First of all, I'm not an advocate of violence at all. If there's a violent act that I'm involved in, it's got to be because somebody came at me. I learned that a long time ago. I was in I've only been in like 3 fights in my entire life. But when I was DJing in a nightclub, I had a guy that it's a long story, but he came after me. And obviously was over a girl, and it was a girl that I wasn't even dating or seeing or anything, but there was a comment made. Somebody ended up pointing at me and I didn't do anything, but the guy came up after me and hit me. I was just stunned, but I knew at that point that if I didn't turn around and kind of defend me, that I was in trouble. I would have ended up going down. And, this is in a DJ booth in this nightclub. And so I took one punch at him and just destroyed this guy. And I cracked a part of his occipital or orbital bone underneath his eye, his cheekbone. And I wore a ring at the time. And the ring indentation was in his face still. About a month and a half later, when I ended up seeing him in court, because he sued me, he sued the nightclub, he sued everybody. And thank God we had video, or I might have been screwed. It might have been, charged with assault or something. But I just learned a long time ago, man, just walk away, and because it's just not worth it. And most people, if you walk away, all they're going to do is mouth off to you. Who cares? And it'll be fine. But if somebody comes at you, then it is what it is. But yeah, just people are crazy. People are just, and that's part of it too. They just think you're going to walk away. So they'll say whatever they want. I have learned that a mild amount of condescension seems to irritate them more than a punch to the face. Do you ever have somebody give you grief? I mean, like get nasty. And I've looked at people and I went, really? That's all you got? That's what your education led you to? And oh my God, it's just like, now you're calling me stupid on top of everything. And even what I just said to you about you and your mom and everything else didn't get any rise out of you. Then you've got the upper hand and you just walk away, that type of thing. So
no, but that's like the scene from Good Will Hunting, right? When they're at the bar and the guy's lecturing the woman about some stupid philosophy. He just starts reading textbooks.
Yep. That's kind of it. I said, I use that all the time. I've said, that's all you got? I'd get some money back for your education. And I get that all the time. Yeah.
Oh, you're not the one citing Thoreau?
No, I'm not that deep. No, I'm more of an idiot, but I try to stay up on at least a different level. Grant Bill's chiming in, by the way, saying you used to be a nightclub DJ. I did. I did it, see, Grant, I know you're listening. I did it back when you used Techniques 1200s and you slipped them. I did it the cool way. You put the foam disc underneath and you slipped them. And that's the way you mixed records, not computerized today, not the way they do it today. I did it the real way. So come at me, bro. Come at me. Cash you outside. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. PJ Tucker opted out. Would you want PJ Tucker back? PJ Tucker opted out down in Miami. And the Milwaukee Bucks, obviously looking for some more defense, some more tenacity, and another shooter. Now, PJ Tucker's not a shooter. But would you want to see PJ Tucker come back to the Milwaukee Bucks? Now, he might have burned a little bit of a bridge when he walked out and said, I love the city of Milwaukee. I love everything about it. I love the people. I mean, he praised everybody in Milwaukee. He loved it here. And I'll tell you, and I know this personally, I'll tell you that in a minute. But he kind of said, when the Bucks looked at him and said, go get your best deal, we'll see if we want to match it, he felt disrespected. He felt like, look, I brought some tenacity to this team. I brought some junkyard dog mentality to this team. And I helped this team toughen up a little bit. And I was a part of this team getting a championship. And he's right. He's right. He's 100% correct. But would you want to see PJ Tucker come back? Would you want to see PJ Tucker come back? My answer emphatically is yes. But I'll tell you this. I had seen PJ. I'm not going to say got to know him because that's overstating it. But I got to see PJ Tucker and talk to him a little bit away from the court. He loved going to Calderon Club, and he loved Stenny's. Two of the places that I frequent and I love and I go to. He loved Stenny's. He loved their wings. I mean, he was down there all the time. But when I got a chance to talk to him, he talked about how he can't believe more vets don't want to come here. He can't believe that more people don't want to live here. He loved everything about it. I mean, everything about Milwaukee and the state of Wisconsin. He couldn't get enough of it. And that cat, when he left here, when that happened and they told him to go get your bag, he was genuinely hurt. Like his feelings. And I know it's a business. I understand that. And players will tell you, what's a business? I got to do what I got to do. It's what's best for me. And, but they really do have these emotions. We all do. Okay. We all do. Look, if you tell us it's business and you're going to go off and get another job, it's business. But, maybe a company that trained you, worked with you, was hoping to advance you, they might be hurt you're leaving, or vice versa. If a company decides to say, hey, you're not cutting it, this is business, you're not looking at it going, you know what? They're right. It's business. They should get rid of me. No, everybody's got feelings. He was genuinely hurt. The Bucks didn't bring him back. Would you want to take PJ Tucker back? Just a question, because I think it's going to be an interesting offseason for what the Bucks are going to be able to find. Let's do this. When we come back, got to talk a little Brewers baseball as well. Got to get into that because we're going to be talking with Kevin Holden, CBS 58, who I got to find out. I don't know if you saw the historic return at Fenway over the weekend, but I know Kevin Kevin travels. He's like a baseball freak, and he and his wife go to ballparks all the time. And I don't know if they were there for the historic return, but I got to find out. We're going to talk about some Brewers baseball, obviously, and the DFA of one Lo Cain. But we got to talk a little bit more about his trip. I found it fascinating. Stay tuned. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends over there at New Mail Medical, treating guys all over the state and well beyond the borders as well. That's New Mail Medical. Whether it is low T, it's got you down, it's got you kind of dragging a little bit, put on a little weight. Okay, maybe you're over the age of 30. Stop in, get your numbers checked. They can help you out. Maybe you're looking at yourself going, holy mackerel, where did this come from? And I'm not talking about the fun zones. I'm talking about the gut that hangs over the fun zone. It's like there's too much porch and you can't see the fun zones anymore. All-in-one weight loss program. They can help you out. Just call. It works. It genuinely works. If you follow it, it works. Then, obviously, the ED and erectile dysfunction and such, which is pretty much what they're known for. They've got a 98% success rate. There's a lot of others that are out there, but it's no, stop. The medical experts, Dr. Tim and everybody, they can help you out. All you got to do is call one phone number, 414-455-4451. 414-455-4451. That's the New Mel Medical Center. Again, 414-455-4451. Kevin Holden, CBS 58, joining us next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome. Glad to have you. A warm start to summer. I love it. I know today's going to get a little more sticky. If you're not talking 95 and 80% humidity, come on. I love it. Love it outside. If you're going to be outside, you're going to be moving around, going to be doing, hey, let's say the air conditioning's not working in your car. Get a hold of our friends at J&L Tire Service. That's our buddy Lyle. They are great people. They are right off of 94 in Johnson Creek, and they can work on your air conditioning unit in your vehicle, both big rigs and soccer mom vehicles. So either or, anything in between, they've got it all covered for you. Or whether you need tires, brakes, oil changes, whatever happens to be, They got you covered, and they're great people because they do some really cool things in the community. They're great philanthropists when it comes to giving money back. So if you're looking for a great company to work with and spend your money at, yeah, boy, great place. So go to J&L Tire Service. That's jnltire.com, jnltire.com. If you want to give them a shout, they've got one right off of the highway on 94 in Johnson Creek and then in Watertown as well. Good people. Let's do this. Let's go over to our good buddy, Kevin Holden, CBS 58, joining us on the hotline. Kevin, so now I got to ask you, because I saw the pictures. You were at Fenway. Were you there for the historic return of one and only Neil Diamond?
Oh, man. Bill, you know that usually I am an all-star at scheduling, planning, making sure you're in the right place at the right time. We were in the right place, but it was absolutely the wrong time. We were the night before. We missed him.
Oh, my God. How could you miss that, man? Holy mackerel.
That's a moment right there. So I knew I was in trouble because the next night we finished up that trip with some Cape Cod League games. So we're out in some tiny town, Yarmouth or Falmouth or whatever how they say it. And all of a sudden my phone blows up. It was like, oh my goodness, Neil Diamond, I know you saw it. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Then you realize that missed it by a day.
Yeah, one day, man. When I saw that, I thought, oh, how cool is that? And then I saw your pictures, and I thought, oh boy, if he was there for that would give you goosebumps. But good trip nonetheless, and good pictures nonetheless. So let's because the last time you and I talked, the Brewers were struggling, and now all of a sudden they're on this win streak. They DFA Lorenzo Cain. Corbin Burns is putting the clamps down. The Redbirds aren't scoring. I mean, things have changed dramatically. I mean, granted, it's baseball. I understand that. But let's start with Lorenzo Cain. Were you surprised the Brewers made that move?
No, not at all. There's a point in a guy's career when the body starts to break down. And I think there's a second point in a guy's career because you fight it at first. And then there's a second point in a guy's career where there's a mental aspect to it. And Lorenzo Cain, to me, just was in that mode where mentally I just don't think he was there. I mean, and that's okay. This is not a slight on him. I think he was a tremendous player his whole career, great competitor, but he didn't have the physical skills that he had before. And man, there's nothing more frustrating than being able to do something at an elite level your entire life and then just not being able to do it anymore. Like, it's just not there. So it was not a surprise to me. I thought it was tremendous that the Brewers let him get to 10 years of service and let him, draw the pension. I mean, it's not big numbers by major league standards, big numbers by the rest of the standards. But I like the fact that they allowed that to happen. Whether that was a pre-made arrangement or not, I don't know. But whatever it was, I thought that was a classy move on their part. So it's one of the things that's made it easier is Tyrone Taylor has shown such good flashes in center field with the bat that it was time. It's time to let that guy get some playing time. He's ready to contribute to a winning team.
The injuries, obviously, even though some guys are coming back, they continue to mount. Ashby lands on the injured list. We saw with the right strain, the forearm strain and such, and you are starting to get some guys to come back. But give me your assessment as to where this team is at right now, because I'm kind of the belief that, hey, if you just kind of wait a little bit rather than making knee-jerk moves, you might get some of these guys back. And we have not seen this roster full as what we thought was going to be the starting nine all season long because of injuries, whether it was Urias starting off on the injured list and working his way back up to the bigs after the season got going, or Colton Wong being down, the Willie Adames. I mean, just go through that list. So what do you think of this team right now and the state that this is in?
So there are two concerns that I have, and I hate to start it that way because it blows off all the good things this team has done, and this team has done some really, really good things, last night being the latest of those. But if you talk concerns, there are two, and they're in a different order than most people have. For me, the bigger concern with this team is the thing that happens in the baseball realm where the injury bug bites. And it doesn't, not that it bites a number of players, but it bites specific players at specific times. So if you lose 3/5 of your starting rotation, for example, that's a problem. I mean, then Chichi Gonzalez is starting a game for you, and good for him, but that's not ideally what the Brewers want. The injury side of it is less controllable, but more damaging. The other concern, of course, is the offense, and it's more controllable for two reasons. You have good pitching that offsets it. It's not as essential as it used to be. It will create frustrating stretches, but it's also, when you're pitching well, you'll win 2-1 games. So that's good. And the other half is you can fix the offense in some part with trades. You can do some work. And David Stearns has been known to do some work when he's got a team that can make a run. So the offense is less of a concern. I say all that to say, yeah, I'm concerned about the offense long term, but less so than I am that collection of injuries. And like you say, it's a long season in a forgiving division, and the Brewers could very well be just banged up now and healthy in September, and that would be wonderful for them.
So I know there's a lot of rumors about when you talk about the offense and the Brewers maybe finding another bat. Do you think that it's going to be sooner rather than later, or do you wait for the trade deadline to then create that urgency?
I think if you're the Brewers, I think you're looking as early as now, and I think you'd like to pull the trigger in July. I think it would be good. I think David Stearns might jump the market just a little bit. The one thing that Stearns, and again, we say it every time I'm on, but the one thing that Stearns does very, very well is he reads markets very, very well. Look, if David Stearns did stocks on the side, take my money. Go make it, because he reads the market well. He didn't spend the crazy money when Alex Cobb was getting big money. He knows when it's right and when it's not right. And I think, this is my much more amateur read on the market, that with the extra playoff spot, there are going to be more buyers than sellers, which means you want to make your transaction before you get to a point where there's 2 people selling, let's say, and 10 people buying. That's when you have to pay the money. It's like buying a house right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so David Stearns is in that mold. I think to break that mold, to get ahead of it, is to save money, to not have to spend as much either in prospects or whatever he would have to give up in a trade. So the long answer made short is, yeah, I think that trade could happen as soon as early July if it's going to happen.
I know that there's a lot of talk about whether or not they need to get an infielder, an outfielder, a utility guy that can do both. I mean, how do you see? I mean, first of all, do you see them getting a name, anybody of serious ilk, or is this just a small finding a diamond in the rough, taking somebody else's guy that maybe needs some greener pasture type of thing?
Yeah, the only thing about getting a name in the case of Stearns with the payroll that he has is a lot of times when you take on a name, you take on a contract or some sort of financial liability that I don't know if he'll necessarily do it. He might take a big swing at one of the major free agents that are left, soon to be free agents that are left, guys that are available in trade. That would help, but it would also put the Brewers in a tough spot in the early going, and then they would have to make a decision when this player enters free agency. They would lose him for nothing. So I might see Stearns coming in a little under the big names in a deal, but I'm sure it'll be well researched, and I'm sure it'll be someone who gives value to the offense. Sometimes it isn't in the traditional ways, but he finds the guys that can do some things for him, whether the emphasis is defense, whether the emphasis is getting on base more. There are many ways to do this, and I think that's one way he'll look at it is he'll find a guy that he won't have to give up the farm for, who can give him some production down the road. So if somehow Chris Bryant was available in the first year of this massive deal he signed in Colorado, that's not his guy. But he's going to find a guy that will, not hamstring the franchise, but give them production in the short term.
We're talking with Kevin Holden, CBS 58. You can find him on Twitter at 321QKevin. Hey, real quick before I let you go, Chichi Gonzalez getting the start. Brandon Woodruff still not able to come back. How serious is the injury and that Raynaud's disease or what have you? Do you think this is for Brandon Woodruff?
I mean, the thing about it is it knocks a timetable out, because when you have this so often with pitchers, when you talk about shoulder inflammation or elbow inflammation, or if it's something more serious, those type of injuries carry a specific timeline because they happen over and over again. So that just like a strained oblique is probably a month, that shoulder inflammation is 2 weeks, and if it's worse, it's a month or two. In this case, I don't know if they have a timeline because it's not something they deal with very much. And here's the thing that's interesting. The day that this was announced, I was on the air and I said, this is a rare thing to find someone with Raynaud's, I think it's called Raynaud's syndrome or whatever it is, Raynaud's something. And my producer came out of the booth and he said, I have that. And I'm like, man, maybe it's more common than I thought. But when he says he has that, it isn't something that he got 2 weeks ago and is gone. It's something that stays with him. And it's, this sort of cold feeling on the, in Woodruff's case, at the end of the fingers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, that could be a rest of the year thing. There's a chance that could be a rest of the year thing for him. Or at the very least, he's, going to spend a month or two trying to find a grip on a baseball and then come back and be a little bit less than ideal. Obviously, that's not what the Brewers want, and they're going after all the treatment options, but it's the unknown that really kind of freaks me out a little bit about Woodruff, because he's a centerpiece if you want to make a run.
Good stuff as always, and I look forward to the next set of pictures as to whatever ballpark you happen to land in, because you just all of a sudden are off the air for a day, and then next thing you're in a city, and I have no idea how you do it, but good for you.
I'll say this. The next ballpark I'm visiting is our softball league's championship game tonight. We are actually playing softball in this mess tonight.
Look at you go in that championship game. At some point, I would assume you're knocking on wood, carrying rabbit's foot, that you don't blow anything out on the way to first base.
Oh, no. My wife took video of me getting a hit last night, and they now clock me with a sundial. So we're at that point.
There you go. At least you don't need one of those scooters. Yeah, okay. You're good to go. Not bad. You're still running. I like it. Kevin, good luck, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it, man.
See you, pal. There you go. That's our buddy Kevin Holden, CBS 58, joining us for a couple of minutes on the hotline. And, yeah, he's blown out Achilles and knees and everything else playing softball. And back at it tonight, but good luck to him. Playing in the championship.
Got to look out for those scooters, Bill.
You got to. I was going to say, otherwise he could end up in a scooter on a street corner in Madison, blowing the horn at one Ben Kenny. This portion of the program brought to you by our good friends over there at Albanese's. Going to go see Joey today, as a matter of fact. I saw the big crowd when I was getting home last night out there playing bocce ball. Got the bocce ball leagues going out at Albanese's. They do that thing, almost year-round, but good Italian food on the west side. Out in Waukesha. Stop in, tell Joey and the gang we said hi. And speaking of somebody that they need cooks. They need line help. And if you know of somebody, say, hey, Joey Albanese, man, fine Italian restaurant. You can make some decent money. And you can also expand your craft along the way. Become the head chef before it's all said and done. But check out Albanese's Roadhouse, Blue Mountain Road in Waukesha, right next to Menards. Stay tuned. We got more of the Bill Michaels Show next.
Ready? This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
If you've got something going on, say, with a group, I'm talking maybe a group of coworkers looking for a little team building, maybe a group of friends, you're looking for a getaway. There is no better getaway. It's right here in our own backyard. And with some of the prices that are just becoming exorbitant everywhere else, a one-tank trip might not be a bad idea. Save a little bit of money, stay in state, go to a waterfall tour, a winery tour, maybe just go play some golf and enjoy yourself, ATVs, UTVs, or just hang at the pool and do nothing. That's our friends at the Four Seasons Island Resort. The Four Seasons Island Resort up in Pembine, Wisconsin, up near the UP, and it's a great getaway. A fun weekend, a fun week for that matter, if you want to do it during the week, but they're doing business stuff. If you want to get, like I said, take your group, get away, take your workers, co-workers, and go someplace where you can just kind of just jump on the island, have a conference, whatever it may be. Go to 715-324-5800, ask for Barb, or just 715-324-5800. Here's a note. You got to tell them Bill Michaels 15. If you do it on the website at thefourseasonswisconsin.com, or you do it over the phone, because I told you all the time, if you mention it here, they give you something for free. Well, now it's just for our listeners and just for you. Bill Michaels 15, automatically 15% off. And that can save you some cash, depending on what it is you're going to do. But automatically, whether it's 1 room or 50 rooms, whatever it is you're going to do, Bill Michaels 15, and they will give you 15% off just for listening here. Bill Michaels 15. That's the Four Seasons Island Resort, Pembine, Wisconsin, on the beautiful Miscano Island. 715-324-5800. 715-324-5800. That's the Four Seasons Island Resort. You're good to go. Good stuff. So, the Milwaukee Brewers, and I'll get back into the Buck stuff coming up here momentarily, but the Milwaukee Brewers, a lot of talk about what they're going to do. And we just got done discussing this with Kevin Holden from CBS 58. So the discussion has been on the MLB Network about what the Brewers may or may not be looking for. I know that. John Morosi on MLB Central had this to say about the Brewers and what he thinks they're going to do.
The picture being a bit clearer as we head to the trade deadline is a good thing. What is the plan in Kansas City right now?
I think Andrew Benintendi, Lauren, is going to be one of the most highly coveted lefty bats anywhere in the major leagues this summer. And I'm already hearing reports about different teams starting to show some preliminary interest. I'll mention 2 of them right here. The Milwaukee Brewers and the Toronto Blue Jays. Both have had some needs for lefty power. You just covered earlier on in this hour the great career of Lo Cain and his time in Milwaukee coming to a close. They do need a bat. And you think about how well the Cardinals have played of late, whether that move happens now or closer to August 2nd. I think Benintendi to Milwaukee would be a tremendous fit. And the
There you go. There you go. The Brewers already making inquiries. And this was something we talked a little bit about last week. Would he be a good fit here? Of course he would. If indeed he's not a part of the future there, obviously. Yeah, that would be a good fit. So for those that were asking that question last week, great into it, because you might have seen this coming. It's just another one of those things to consider. But at least from what we understand and what John Morosi understands, talking to the MLB Network, that the Brewers are already making inquiries, needing an extra bat, needing power. That's the other thing. Even though the Brewers collectively have been pretty good in the power department, they're top 10, still, I think you need consistent power and that threat in the lineup. And who knows? Maybe Benintendi, maybe you put a guy like that with a Christian Yelich eventually, if Christian Yelich continues to hit the ball and starts hitting for power, maybe all of that starts to come around again. So who knows? Who knows? By the way, now, according to an NFL spokesman, the developments today between Deshaun Watson and his accusers, quote, have no impact on the collectively bargained disciplinary process. And my question is, what the hell does that mean? The developments today, and if you're just tuning us in, 20 out of the 24 cases filed against Deshaun Watson have now been settled. And I want to get back to that in a minute for a comment that was made over here on the Bud Light live stream. But it says it has no impact on the collectively bargained disciplinary process. The only thing I can take away from that is that regardless if they've been settled or not, there's still issues that have to be dealt with. And the NFL will continue to kind of finish up that investigation, make sure there's no new accusations, and then take action against Deshaun Watson. That's the only thing I can take away from that. That's just one of those statements. It's okay, So in other words, just because they've been settled doesn't mean we're not going to take action against Deshaun Watson. That's what I take away from that. To put it in, the Cliff Notes version, so to speak. Now, a little earlier when we had mentioned that this was breaking news and that this was stated that the accusers in this case, 20 out of the 24 have settled with the legal team of Deshaun Watson via Tony Busby, their representation. And somebody had made the comment on the Bud Light live stream. That proves that they were just out for the money. It said, Ted says, it sure tells me that they were in it for the money. No, Ted, I'm not going to go with that. I'm not. First of all, that means these women are being demeaned yet again. You can tell who's out for money and who's not. This was one person that came forward and said, I have this issue. And once that issue was brought to the forefront, it basically unplugged the drain for all the others to come out of the woodwork to say, this guy's a creeper. And they went through the process, the deposition process, and grand jury process to try to bring criminal charges against him. They went on camera. They lived with ridicule. They've lived with mocking. And as Busby put it earlier, the fan hatred, so to speak. I don't think they did this just for the money. Just my opinion. You could, like I said, Amber Heard was out for the money. You could tell. These women, if you watch the Real Sports segment, they weren't in it for the money. What they were in it for was to let the world know that this guy's a scumbag. Yeah. Just throwing it out there. And here's the other thing. If he didn't have any guilt at all, he wouldn't have settled, right? Just throwing that out there too. He wouldn't have settled. Sometimes you settle to make it go away, but I don't think you're settling with 20 women to make it go away. I think I think now that might be the process, or might be the thought process, because what they didn't want was all of the depositions to then come out and have the Houston Texans involved in all of this too. I think the league wanted this to go away. So and Gary, you're right. Gary says the accusations are way too specific and detailed and graphic for me not to believe them. Deshaun's a scumbag. I agree with that. And the fact that the newest woman who just came out has text messages to back her story up. That's why I think they're like, holy crap, we got to make this go away. We got to settle. We got to be done with this. Because remember, the other woman didn't come out until she saw him basically deny it and say everybody's a liar but him. Just an FYI. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Stay tuned. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show right around the corner. We'll be back after this.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
You got to hit it back. Put it in the pocket.
Glad you're with us. It is hot enough to grill. Not on the sidewalk, but it's nice out. It's going to be a nice night tonight. Sit back, relax, watch the Brewers and the Cardinals, maybe do a little grilling outside, stop down and see our buddy Paul Roberts. Roberts Specialty Meats, Sunset Drive in Waukesha, and that is the home of the ribs on a stick that everybody loves. The Al Capone sausage, the Al Capone roast. Oh, my goodness. Good stuff. And I'm telling you, look for the B&Bs. The beef and bacon, those cubes are fantastic. Oh, and they're ready to go right in. You throw them on the grill, you leave them over there for about, 10 minutes. Bam. That is all kinds of goodness all over you right there. There you have it. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You want to find us, that's the way to do it. Again, phone lines wide open, 877-867-1670. This was from Dakota, who says, no way all of these women have the same description of the same sleaziness out of the same guy. And all of these women are from different parts of the city of Houston. I believe them 100%. I don't believe Deshaun Watson. Mike says, this is piling on. One guy can't do one thing wrong and then have everybody else say he did. It seems like they're piling on for the money. Mike, I have no idea how you come up with that conclusion. No idea. Again, you have 24 eyewitnesses to say this happened, and you're going to say one person was right and the rest are just piling on for the money. If it's one person comes out and say 6 more jump on, 3 more, 24. Man, that's got to be some kind of a conspiracy. That just doesn't happen. Just throwing it out there. Albert says it was good to see Lorenzo Cain get his 10 years of service and the Brewers do the classy thing and then let him go. But they also did the smart thing by letting him go. He was not helping the team at all. Albert, I would agree. Talked about that in a little bit more in depth in the first hour, but I would agree. You hated, like I said, I hated to see Lorenzo Cain go in that fashion. I would have loved to have seen Lorenzo Cain go out having a hell of a year, go out the way you want to go out, possibly with a World Series appearance and or ring, all of that. But sometimes you just, when Father Time grabs you by the ankles, you can either go down slowly and drag him along, or you just fall down because he's tripped you up. And in this case, I think Lorenzo Cain looked at it and said, yeah, he's grabbed me by the ankles, tripped me up. I've made a lot of money. I'm set for life. I've got a World Series ring with Kansas City. It's time for me to go and let this team figure it out and maybe pick up another bat along the way and go from there. And so everybody handled it in a pretty good fashion, in my opinion.
He also had said that, Bill, earlier in the year. I don't know if you remember that article from Adam McCalvey that came out, but he pretty much said that he wasn't sure if, he should still be playing.
Right.
So I feel like at that point, then everybody knows it's time.
No, I agree. I mean, and we all knew this was it for him. It wasn't like he made it, like he said, you know what, I'm going to work really hard and be back next year because, none of that. This was like, this is it. I think he knew he was at the end. And maybe he did just come back for the 10 years of service and then to walk away. Who knows? But yeah, it was handled really well, I think, by everybody. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Mark said Christian Yelich 0 for 4 again yesterday. Yeah, but you know what? Come on. Granted, his average sitting 234, 7 homers, 23 RBI, 10 stolen base. I get all that, but he's been hitting the ball better as of late. You can't hit in every game all the time, and then when you go over, people point the finger. Just like I've said before, just like if you have a week's worth of games in which you're smacking the hell out of the baseball, that's not a season. That's a good week. Put a good week on top of a good week on top of a good week on top of a good month on top of a good month. Then we can talk about maybe you've changed your ways. But let's relax. Don't go too high. Don't go too low. It's just to hang in there, okay? Let's get to the All-Star break, see where things are sitting, and then we'll kind of go from there. We'll start to kind of give out the mid-season awards, if you will. Okay? Let's hang in there. 2 hours down, 2 hours to go. Bill Michaels Show continues. More coming up right after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
On a battle featuring two of the better pitchers in the National League, it was Milwaukee's Corbin Burns coming out on top in a 2-0 win over Miles Michaelis and the Cardinals last night. Burns went 7 innings, allowing just 2 hits and striking out 10, his 5th double-digit strikeout performance this season. Michaelis went 6 1/3 innings, but made one crucial mistake that Tyrone Taylor knocked out of the park for a 2-run homer. It was the only scoring in a game that Magic Craig Council thought could come down to which starter did make that one mistake.
Yeah, it's a possibility with the matchup for sure, and both guys pitched very, very well. I mean, I thought Corbin was as good as we've seen him this year. Just everything was good, and he made some great pitches. His cutter was an excellent pitch all day, and really relied on that pitch today. But Michaelis was tough as well. Fortunately, Tyrone got a ball kind of up out over the plate and put a great swing on it.
The win broke a tie between the two teams at the top of the NL Central, pushing Milwaukee into first with a 1-game lead. They also now lead the season series 5-4. Going to be the same two teams tonight at American Family Field. First pitch is set for 7:10. Turning to the Bucks, the NBA draft coming up Thursday in Brooklyn. Milwaukee owns the 24th pick of the first round.
Where can you learn the skills to take care of yourself and your family? An apprenticeship in construction. Imagine earning money while you learn and getting paid to go to class. And graduating without big college debt. You can explore 11 different trades. To get started as an apprentice, visit buildyourcareerwi.org or search for ABC of Wisconsin online.
Well, it's the down period for the Packers. They finished up their offseason program last week, now off until training camp gets going at the end of July. And the Wisconsin football team's offseason program got going earlier this month. They opened the season September 3rd against Illinois State. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil, Print.
Some money too. Quick Trip's giving away over $100,000, but we're going to be at Road America coming up on the July 1st and 2nd and 3rd and 4th weekend. And on July 3rd, on Sunday morning, July 3rd, right before the race, we're giving away that Chevy Camaro SS, compliments of our friends over there at Quick Trip. So if you have not gotten registered for it yet, you've not stopped into a Quick Trip, you haven't used your Quick Rewards card, you haven't bought a Pepsi product or a Jack Link's product, you got to do it. And then you still got a shot at getting registered for all that stuff. And you can do, and plus they're giving away money throughout the summer. So even if you don't win the car, you still got a shot at winning some money. So stop into our friends at Quick Trip, but we're going to be up there. Yes. Up there next week. It's going to be a good time. I love going to Road America. As a matter of fact, where is it? Somebody had just wrote, this was it. Our buddy ESPN Steve says I took my son to Road America this weekend, amazed at all the improvements made since last year. All of the cart paths are now paved and landscaped. The food was delicious and not overpriced, and very large portions. You can take a family there and not spend nearly as much money as, say, a Packers, Brewers, or Bucks game. The racing was great, and I'm looking forward to going back. It is. If you have not checked it out, when NASCAR came in, and we're going to talk, by the way, tomorrow, John Ebert from Road America is going to join us, and he is the PR director, media relations director up there. We're going to talk with him just about some of the race day logistics, because IndyCar was a big weekend. Don't get me wrong, but NASCAR is it's not sold out. The camping is sold out, but the tickets are not sold out, because I don't think you could ever really sell it out. But they try to limit it to a certain amount, so that way the experience going in and getting out and all that kind of stuff is enjoyable for race fans. But we're going to talk with him about all the logistics. But when NASCAR came in, one of the things Road America said they were going to do was, look, the influx of money, the influx of fans, the influx of obviously the cash of marketability of Road America because of NASCAR gives them additional funds to create other upgrades. So they've upgraded the bridges, they've upgraded as he mentioned, the cart paths. Things have gotten, I'm not going to say dramatically better, because they were always great, but they've made it really, they beautified the place, I guess, basically is what I'm trying to say. And a lot of nice things going on up at Road America. So if you've not been there and you're looking to go to the NASCAR race, we'll have all the information for you tomorrow on the program. And mark your calendar and mark the date. And mark the time. It's going to be about 11:30 tomorrow, I think. Live on the air. And then for some of you, it'll be tape delayed. Second hour of the show. But nevertheless, we're going to talk a little racing tomorrow and Road America. But Steve, no, I agree with you. It's great. And for those that are going up Casey, thanks for the note. I will see you up there. We're going to be cruising around. I'll let you know where the RV is and such. I haven't even picked up the RV yet. We're going to get that next week, but we'll let you know where we're stationed. And if you want to come by and say hello, by all means, do so. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. You want to hit us up over on Twitter? Do it at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels. You can also find Ben Z. Kenny over there on Twitter at Ben Z. Kenny, producing the program. You can find us on Facebook, find us on YouTube. Please subscribe on YouTube. It's absolutely free. Go to youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. You can find us there. And don't forget, download the app. You can find everything link-wise at thebillmichaels.com, TheBillMichaels.com. Tyler says, do you think the Brewers actually get a big bat, or do they just find another guy to come in and try to fill in and get something out of them for nothing, for basically nothing? Tyler, I wish I had an answer for you. I wish it all comes down to cost, reward, controllability, that kind of thing. That's it. There's the way David Stearns likes to operate, specifically with the budget constraints of the Milwaukee Brewers. TD says, why don't the Brewers just go out and spend more money? God knows they haven't, and the franchise is worth billions. TD, we go down this road a lot, and I'm just, to explain it, basically is, yeah, he bought the team for, what was it, $250 million, $250 million, I think is what it was. I get it. And now it's worth over $1 billion. But that's like saying you bought your house for $100,000, but it's now worth $300,000. Doesn't mean you got $300,000 sitting in your bank account. It just means that that's what the value is when you sell, right? So think of it that way. It's like buying a house. Don't get me wrong, it's worth a lot of money, but that doesn't mean you have that much money sitting in your account until you actually sell it. And there is budget constraints. If you know, come the trade deadline, that this team, this is it. If Woodruff's progressing and he's got it going back on, and he has the feeling back in his fingers, and he's ready to go, and Burns is looking good, and your starting rotation's really starting to pan out, and you're going, wow, this is going to be good. And suddenly Freddie Peralta is just dealing, and all of this is heading in the right direction. I mean, what you started out the season with, okay, think about this. You had Hauser, you had Lauer, you had Burns, you had Freddie Peralta, you had Brandon Woodruff. Now it's Corbin Burns, Chichi Gonzalez, Eric Lauer, Jason Alexander, and Adrian Hauser. Think how much things have changed from where you were to where you are, right? Think about that. You had Christian Yelich, Willie Adames, Rowdy Tellez, kind of the guys you thought. Your DH, Andrew McCutchen, who's given you a little bit, Hunter Renfroe and right. Now your center fielder's Tyrone Taylor. Lorenzo Cain's not giving you, anything anymore, but he didn't give you what you wanted, right? You still have Victor Caratini and Keston Hiura, who's, giving you some highlight reel stuff, but for the most part, he's still batting like, 215, something like that. Your backup infielders, Mark Mathias, Jonathan Davis. You're not what you were, but if you believe you will be, then yeah, you go out and make a deal. But you can't. You're not the Yankees, man. You're not capable of just going out and throwing out that kind of money and saying, "Hey, we're going to take that kind of a loss." It just, you're certainly. I really think, and this is just me, but I really think that the Christian Yelich contract, had Christian Yelich kept on the same pace, right? Had Christian Yelich just kept it up, that the Brewers are probably more apt to spend money. But if you get, I'm not going to say burned, but if you get gun shy because of a big contract or a bigger contract that really hasn't paid out, right? It hasn't paid off in the sense that you thought the productivity pretty much from day one has not been there. It makes you gun shy as a small market team to go, boy, we're going to do this again. How much money are we going to spend and not get anything before we finally say, okay, we can't do this anymore? Because all of a sudden your team has become just a big money pit. So I think that, had Christian Yelich panned out the way everybody thought he was going to, I think it's a no-brainer. But I don't think you can throw bad money after good in that sense down that hole. I think it's made him a little gun shy. 877-867-1670. Complicated Fella says, this may be the last year for David Stearns. Why not go out with a bang? Because it's not his money to spend. He's got to get permission from the owner to spend it. Now, Mark Attanasio has always said, if we're there, go for it. So if you feel that Adames starts hitting and Urias is ready to go, right? You got this going on, okay? Urias is ready to go and Adames is hitting. Colton Wong is back. Christian Yelich is starting to belt the ball. Renfroe's still giving you the power numbers. Rowdy Tellez is knocking it all over the ballpark, which they're pitching completely different now, by the way. And you're ready, okay? Narvaez, he's back. Let's do this. Then yeah, Mark Attanasio is going to say, whatever you need, go get it. Go get it. But right now, I don't think he's jumping into that pile just yet. So let's wait and see. You're right now a game on top. Think about all the things that I just reeled off to you. And the Brewers are still leading their division by a game. There is no need right now to jump and make some kind of a knee-jerk reaction. because you still may need something different down the road. So hang in there, start laying the groundwork, but I know it's tough as a fan because we want to see them make moves. We want to see them go for it. We want to see them win. I agree. And I'm a big proponent of pushing the chips to the middle of the table. You know that. But even I'm saying, let's just hang in there because you don't know specifically what your needs are going to be a week from now or 2 weeks from now, right? Hang in there. Ride it out. A little bit of patience right now. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Pindell. If you are looking for a career for a quality manufacturing machining company, a robotics machining company, they do it. They can help you. They can train you. It's a career. It's not just a job. It's a career. And they're paying really, really well with benefits and such. If you're looking for a job, and we all know that eventually, whatever the hell happened to the workforce, you got to come back at some point because there's got to be bills piling up, right? You probably can't even afford to put gas in your car. Get your ass out there, do a little bit of work. That's what they're talking about right now. Pindell, Pindel. Go to Pindell.com. That is Pindell.com, Pindel. Go to Pindell.com. Stay tuned. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show. It's coming up right after this.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The Thunder is back, and you don't want to miss it. June 30th through July 3rd. It's the NASCAR Cup Quick Trip 250 and the Xfinity Series Henry 180. For tickets, go to roadamerica.com.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
877-867-1670. Find us 877-867-1670. Give us a shout. This is from Jeffrey, who says, what do you think it takes for Andrew McCutchen to be DFA? He's not going anywhere. First of all, he's given you, some big at bats. He is hitting close to 240, but over the last 47 at bats, he's batting 362, 17 of 47, a home run, 6 RBIs over his last 13 games. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't forget, okay? Let's back it up because he had the 1 for 40 skid. Nobody, even Craig Counsell said, I didn't realize that. But he had been struggling. He was 1 for 40 and circling the drain. And then all of a sudden, you get a base knock and it lights you up. Again, going back to sometimes you need just something to spark you. So I agree with that. But when it comes to Andrew McCutchen, he's in the quest for 2,000 hits, and he's trying to get to 300 home runs, and so he's not going anywhere.
He's already past 10 years of service time, though.
Right? Yeah, but so
it's going to be done. They could.
Right. But see, Andrew McCutchen is giving you some streaks. I mean, Lo Cain never gave you a streak in the season where he was hitting, over a 10 or 15 game period where he's hitting over 300. He just constantly struggled. And McCutchen's been able to be at least a contributor and apparently a good veteran contributor, not only on the field, but in the clubhouse as well. So he's not going anywhere.
Bill, I cannot confirm nor deny whether little birdies were wondering when Christian Yelich would reach his 10 years of service time.
I don't know the exact day. I'll tell you that. But they're not going to DFA him anytime soon. That's not happening.
It's next year.
Yeah.
For the record.
Is it next year? Yeah, that's not going to happen. He's here for, if he was in the last year of his contract, that's one thing, but no, not going to happen. I mean, Christian Yelich, he's playing better. Can we all admit that? Since they moved him to the leadoff position, his bat is somewhat come around.
Right? I was maybe deliriously positive about him yesterday, actually. And Grant and I were talking a lot about the move to leadoff. And I mentioned it with you last week. I think not only has it freed up him as a hitter, but it's freed up everybody around him. And the lineup just flows better to me with him there. Yeah, he hasn't gotten a hit in a couple of days. But, I mean, entering yesterday, since the move, which was 11 games, he was hitting 297. And there was no power there, but he's getting on base. He was doing all you needed from a leadoff guy.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. He's been good. He just hasn't he hasn't been like mired in the doldrums since they moved him. Again, I'm not going to say that it's a great season because it hasn't been, but if he turns it around from here on out, he's going to end up hitting 260, 275 before the season's done with probably your 15 home run mark and then kind of go from there. But I'm not going to knock Christian. I'm kind of like, let's see what actually happens over the next month. And then maybe you get a trend in the right direction, but he's been good since they moved into the leadoff role. I'll agree with that. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to find us, please feel free to go ahead and do so. Again, 877-867-1670.
But yeah, 8 years and 69 days of service time entering this year. So he is probably past 9 years at this point, so it'll be next summer.
What then would make you give the actual official countdown? As if to say, at that point in time, you will then see the exodus of Christian Yelich.
So Lo Cain this year hit 179 with an OPS of 465. I think if his average was below that, I would start the countdown next summer.
But how many years left on that contract?
Oh, I have no idea.
That would still be, 5 years left on that, 6 years left on that contract, I think.
I would just start the countdown as a ceremony and to joke about it.
Okay. Yeah, you're not. That's just it. The difference is this was the last year of Lorenzo Cain's contract anyway. So that's easy. But yeah, it's for Christian Yelich now. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. He's not going anywhere for at least, I think it's 6 years that's left on that deal. I think he's in the midst of his third year, which would complete his third year, which would leave him what? It was a 10-year deal? Was it 6 years, 7 years left? I'd have to go back and look. But he's not going anywhere anytime soon. Ain't happening. Let's see here real quick. I shouldn't do this on the air, but I'm going to. So when he completes this year, he goes to 2030. So he's got 7 more years. Yeah, 7 more years after this on that contract at $26 million a year.
Did you turn the game on Fox Sports 1 last night?
I did.
What did you think of the national media puff pieces about how he was playing?
Of recent, okay, but there's a lot of publicity for Christian Yelich right now, even with oh God, it's terrible. His name escapes me. He just did that piece. I got it. I'll have to think. I'll away from the mic here for a second. But the kid the guy that does the stuff in Wisconsin. Oh God, somebody help me out. He just did it. Oh, I'll have to find it. It's on social media.
For what, a newspaper?
No. It's the guy that's always keep her moving. Oh my God, I can't believe Charlie
Barons.
Charlie Barons. Thank you very much. Yeah, he just did a thing with Charlie Barons too. There's a ton of like social media and national media and talk about Christian Yelich right now. And then obviously he was featured in the City Connect uniforms they're giving a big push for him to be right now, which I can't believe is one of the All-Stars. Vote Christian Yelich for the All-Star. It's like, wait, what? This guy had a week and a half, 2 weeks worth of good games. For the most part, he struggled. The only thing right now that you're living off of with Christian Yelich is the fact that he hit for the cycle in Cincinnati. After he tweeted that out, he went to crap. And then they moved into the leadoff role. And I agree with you. It's like it took the pressure off of him and he's just trying to get on base. And it's been a godsend for him. Hopefully he can keep it up. But people are acting like this guy's back to being Christian Yelich. It's like, whoa, pump the brakes, man. He's light years away from hitting 326 with 40 home runs. Give it a break. But I guess at this point in time, any glimpse of positivity we're glomming onto. Maybe that's an indicator as to how bad things have actually been. So, I get it. I mean, Christian Yelich carries a lot of name. He's former MVP. We got MVPs in the state and him and Giannis and Aaron Rodgers. I get all of that, but pump the brakes because you can only take a season by a season. You can't take it by a week. You can't take it by an at-bat. You can't take it by an out. You just pump the brakes. But I agree with you. The puff piece is like, oh my, it's one of those things where you know better. You know better. You're like, wait a minute, come on.
I liked it only for the fact that I spent half of yesterday praising him in council for the fact that the leadoff thing was working.
The leadoff thing is working.
Yeah, I know.
I agree with you.
But I did feel like it was a little puffy.
It is puffy. I 100% agree. Everything that you stated yesterday is warranted because it's true. You can't argue that. Those are facts. Here's what his average is. Here's what he's been doing since he's been moved into the leadoff role. It's been tremendous. Give him credit. But don't blow smoke up my ass to tell me what a great season and it's a bounce back year and all that steaming pant load because it's not. Wait till we're not even at the halfway point of the season. And he's only been really, really good ever since they moved into the leadoff role, which 3 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. So it's, it drives me a little crazy when people want to just jump off onto something so quick when all you're doing is ultimately setting yourself up for disappointment. I appreciate the hope because there's always hope, but I always say be cautionary about it. Cross your fingers. Stay tuned. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up right after this.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
looking? Welcome back. Good to have you on this Tuesday, warm Tuesday, but I'll take it. First day of summer. Get out, bask in it, enjoy it. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Our friends at Wisconsin Harley-Davidson, don't forget, that is the home of our motorcycle ride, the landing spot coming up on Sunday, September 4th. But they have bikes coming in, a bunch of new bikes coming in, as a matter of fact, a lot of used bike and used inventory as well. So if you're looking for a new or a used, if you're looking for motor clothes, if you're looking for a class to ride, whatever it may be in regards to getting yourself on two wheels economically, by the way, which I have taken now to riding the motorcycle damn near everywhere. Not long distances, but as much as I can, getting close to 50 miles to the gallon versus, my car gets 26, 27. So it's not like it's terrible, but anytime I can do short trips, anywhere, I'm doing it on the motorcycle, saving myself all kinds of cash and mileage on my car for that matter. Keeps the value high. But check out our friends at Wisconsin Harley-Davidson. Go to wishd.com. That is wishd.com right there in Oconomowoc. wishd.com. See for yourself. Been telling you that for a while. By the way, Dave said, are you on the air in Milwaukee? Yes, we are on the big 9:20 a.m. 9:20 a.m. in Milwaukee. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends. We're doing well, too. You can keep us down. You can try to keep suppressing the program, but we're doing well. We're good to go. Good to go. This one's from Art, who says the Brewers are going to do the same old, same old. They're going to go out and find themselves a retread from somewhere, not put enough money into the team to really be competitive to win a championship. I don't think the Mets are for real. I think the Dodgers are. The Dodgers will spend money. That's for damn sure. Art, appreciate the email. Ben, who's going to be the representative, do you think, for the National League?
If I had to guess today, I would say the Dodgers, only for the fact that I have watched the New York Mets play baseball my entire life, and I know what happens in September.
That's true. Right now, though, by 5 games, they have the best record in the National League. Are they doing it because the Dodgers, if you look at the run differential, the Dodgers have beaten the hell out of some teams. They're plus 114, where the New York Mets are plus 72. And then you look at the Yankees. Yankees are plus 71 in run differential over the rest of their league, which Houston is plus 53. You got plus 50 from the Red Sox, and the Red Sox are 13 and a half games back. You got plus 35 from Cleveland and plus 25 from the Twins, who are currently leading the Central. So do we look at run differential and say, let's look at the more dominant teams in baseball, being the Dodgers and the Yankees, which, by the way, for baseball would be huge when you talk about those two cities being involved in a World Series. But do you look at it that way? Or do you look at I don't want a Subway Series, by the way. I don't want New York and New York.
Please, no.
Please, just kill me on the spot. I don't want that. The last time we saw that was Piazza and Clemens and bats and, splinters and, getting all muscle. It just stop. It was bad.
Only for the fact that I don't ever need to see B-roll of the New York subway. It's hideous enough when I walk into it. I don't need video.
Not thought of very highly. But that being said, so you're already saying, look, if I had to pick today, I'd pick the Dodgers. I probably would too. I don't have a lot of belief in the Mets as of right now, be quite honest with you.
The context of what the Mets have done is also very impressive, given Scherzer's been out for a while. DeGrom hasn't pitched this year. Their starting staff has been decimated by injuries, yet their lineup has done a terrific job. The Dodgers, I just think when you look up and down that lineup, no matter what you throw at them, they have former MVPs, all-stars everywhere, and they're ridiculously good.
69 games in, 93 games remaining, so you're not even at the halfway point of your season yet. I'm as much as I like the Mets to win the East, I still think they're not out of the woods. Like the Central for the Brewers and the Cardinals is one of those two teams going to win it. I still think the Brewers are going to win it, but those two teams, the rest of the division, it's not that they're running away. It's just the rest of the division isn't good. The Cubs aren't good. The Reds stink on ice. They're already looking to move pieces. Pittsburgh, they are going to rebuild forever. I don't know when they're going to be good again. The West is very competitive with the Dodgers, the Padres, and the Giants, all within 3.5 games of one another. The East is pretty competitive. 8.5 games divide the Phillies from the top spot with the Mets. I think the West is all but done in the American League because Houston's got a 10-game lead over everybody. It's relatively competitive in the Central with the White Sox, the Guardians, and the Twins right there. And the Yankees have pretty much ran away and hid with the East unless they have some kind of a monumental breakdown. So I think a lot of the races in Major League Baseball are already over. It's just a matter of maintaining at this point. So when you got a 10-game or more lead, it usually takes you a week or two to gain a couple of games. So, I mean, you're talking now about months worth of baseball to be able to come back and try to win divisions. I think most of these divisions are pretty much over. So if I had to pick today, yeah, I'd probably say the Dodgers. I think they're going to remain competitive with the Padres and the Giants down the stretch. I have a lot of belief in the Mets as of yet. And so you're probably thinking the Yankees and the Dodgers. So you're right in Art, in the sense that the Dodgers are going to outspend and they're going to go out and pick up another piece or two. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't, because they still have enough money to be able to do more. I would agree with that. I can't argue with that sentiment. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You got something going on in the brain? While lines are wide open, give us a shout. Rick says, I think this could be the Twins factor for the AL. I think the Twins could be a factor. Still, the Twins right now, I know we do have Twins fans in the audience sitting in the Central. I don't know if 38 wins on the season. They're 12 games, 12 wins less. They lead the Central. They're 12 wins less than the Yankees. They would be in the same spot as, say, the Toronto Blue Jays. The Toronto Blue Jays are second in the East right now. Second. And they are 12 games behind the Yankees. Did you hear that, Ben?
I did hear it.
Did you hear that rumble?
What that was? Yeah.
I think up the street from where I live, there is a quarry. I think they just had a blast where they blow up, portions of the quarry, and then they begin to, kind of reap the benefits of whatever it is they're mining there. I think that, at least I hope that's what it was. Either that or a bus just ran through my home. Holy crap. My God, was that loud? Either that or I'm not making fun. Either that or there was a house explosion in the area, one of the two. But holy moly. Okay, on that note, I'm going to take a look around the rest of the neighborhood and see if I see smoke. If not, I know the quarry up the street just had a big bomb blast, and they're knocking down more quartz or whatever it is they're mining over there. So we're going to take a look at that. Stay tuned. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up right after this.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
I am so looking forward to Thursday. You know why? Because I was told earlier today my boat will be ready. Oh, it's been a long year and a half trying to get the engine for that thing, but it should be ready. Our friends at Skipper Buds. Ryan's such a good guy, and I know he's put up with me because I've been trying to get this thing back for a while, and they just haven't been able to, because of the supply chains, been able to tell me when they'd get it back to me. But man, thanks to everybody, Todd and Ryan and Service and Kathy and all of them at Skipper Buds. They've done such a great job, and they put up with me arguing with them about when I'm going to get my boat back because it wasn't their fault. It was just they couldn't get the engine. So they tried and sent me down different avenues and such. But he said, Bill, they pulled the old one out yesterday. They put the new one in today, and tomorrow they're going to take it out on the lake and they're going to run it and make sure that it's all good to go, and they're going to get back to me. And they said, look, we'll even deliver it to you. We'll bring it home. Don't worry about coming to get it. It'll be in your driveway when you get back from La Crosse. I'm like, thank you so much. They're just great people, but that's the way they do work. That's the way they do business. So get a hold of Skipper Buds, 262-544-1200. That's my buddy Todd over there is the GM, and also Ryan out in Service, 262-544-1200. But the best part is that after all this time, and after all the work that he did, my buddy from Dwayne and Dwayne's Cover It All, I'll finally get a chance to see it fully operational and working with the new floor, the new upholstery, the new travel cover, the new bimini top. I haven't used it since I had all the work done on it. I finally get to reap the benefits of Dwayne's work. Go to Dwayne. He is by far Wisconsin's best canvas upholstery and boat cover provider that there is out there. Get a hold of them, 715-870-2119, 715-870-2119, or go to Dwayne's, D-U-A-N-E-S, Dwayne'sCoverItAll.com. That's Dwayne'sCoverItAll.com. I have no idea what it was, Ben. I can only assume that the quarry was doing some blasting. I took a quick look out the windows. Nothing's on fire, so I don't see anything. So,
wasn't the chick from the barbershop?
No. No. She wasn't dropping a pipe bomb.
Said it was a big Cadillac.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. No, it was. She had a big Mercedes.
Oh, yeah.
It was a big Mercedes. So, no, she had a big Mercedes. I don't know what I can only assume that that's what it was, that they're blasting at the quarry down the street. But man, that was a house shaker. And if you could hear it, what you could hear was all the equipment on the desk here on the table in front of me vibrating. The Bud Light can actually moved. So the Bud Light bottle that I have on display for the Bud Light live stream, all of that just moved. It was just, even the bobbleheads, even Euchre's bobblehead was like, was rocking. So, man, that was
lead off Yelich taking batting practice.
He's hitting bombs, baby. Nope, I don't think it was that either. But there you have it. 877-867-1670. You want to hit us up, do it. Again, 877-867-1670. The news of the day, Brooks Koepka has defected. He's gone to the LIV Tour, LIV. Getting Brooks Koepka. He is heading over there after he was critical of those who jumped ship. He basically took the money and ran. And then we get the news that the Cleveland Browns quarterback has settled all but 4 of the lawsuits filed against him, according to the attorney for the women, Tony Busby, in a statement today. Since March 16th of 2021, 25 lawsuits have been filed against Watson, alleging the sexual assault and other inappropriate behavior. Watson has now settled 20 out of 24 of those. An NFL spokesperson, Brian McCarthy, said that today's development has no impact on the collectively bargained disciplinary process, which means they're still looking into what they want to do to Deshaun Watson as far as suspensions, fines, and all that stuff. Last week, Watson said in his news conference that he has no regrets about any of his actions, but admitted that he does regret the impact that the allegations have had on the people around him. In other words, I didn't do anything wrong, but these women brought it up, and now others have to answer these questions, so it's their fault, not mine. So ultimately, something happened because he has now paid the women off, basically. There you have it. In the meantime, the PGA Tour has now responded to Brooks Koepka, so to speak. We'll tell you what that is coming up after the top of the hour. Rather interesting. It's going to continue to go back and forth. It's a tete-a-tete between those who jump for the money. The PGA Tour, by the way, today did make it known that they are going to start looking at and revamping their schedule, and they are going to increase purses in response to the LIV golf threat. So there you go. The schedule will include increased purses worth at least $20 million in the last 8, and at least, I should say, 8 existing marquee events and 3 new events in a global golf series that will include no cuts, limited fields, and purses of at least $25 million, according to certain sources with the PGA Tour. Details still being finalized and subject to change, but the overhaul of the PGA Tour schedule expected to be approved for the 2023 season as the LIV Golf continues to pluck former major champions and other players from the Tour's rosters and members. PGA Tour members were told of the plans in a meeting at the Travelers Championship in Cromwell, Connecticut today. And the Tour's Player Advisory Committee, which is scheduled to meet later today, and its policy board also still have to approve all the changes. So we'll see. But the PGA Tour is now reacting, at least for the players that are currently on the PGA Tour, in a very positive manner to say, look, we know we're being outgunned here when it comes to money. So we're going to increase the purses, kind of limit the events as far as mandatory events go to play on and such. And we're going to make things a little bit better for you. And all because the LIV Tour continues to pluck former players over to their side. I know, Ben, you said you watched some of it on YouTube just because of the fascination of the LIV Tour, but I know that the Saudis have money to keep this going for probably 10 years before they just finally say, okay, we're done with the novelty of it, and they'll pull the plug on it. But this is going to change things. If they continue to lose players, this is going to change things dramatically, I think. And if the LIV Tour does get eventually, the ability to put their golfers on the world golf rankings, that really then changes things, that's in the appeals process now. So wait and see. But the PGA Tour has a response. Get into that. Stay tuned. Got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show. Another hour yet to go. And it's really warming up. Longest day of the year. Summertime is here. June 21st. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up right after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
On a battle featuring two of the better pitchers in the National League, it was Milwaukee's Corbin Burns coming out on top in a 2-0 win over Miles Michaelis and the Cardinals last night. Burns went 7 innings, allowing just 2 hits and striking out 10, his 5th double-digit strikeout performance this season. Michaelis went 6 1/3 innings, but made one crucial mistake that Tyrone Taylor knocked out of the park for a 2-run homer. It was the only scoring in a game that Magic Craig Council thought could come down to which starter did make that one mistake.
Yeah, it's a possibility with the matchup for sure, and both guys pitched very, very well. I mean, I thought Corbin was as good as we've seen him this year. Just everything was good, and he made some great pitches. His cutter was an excellent pitch all day, and really relied on that pitch today. But Michaelis was tough as well. Fortunately, Tyrone got a ball kind of up out over the plate and put a great swing on it.
The win broke a tie between the two teams at the top of the NL Central, pushing Milwaukee into first with a 1-game lead. They also now lead the season series 5-4. Going to be the same two teams tonight at American Family Field. First pitch is set for 7:10. Turn to the Bucks. The NBA draft coming up Thursday in Brooklyn. Milwaukee owns the 24th pick of the first round.
Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
If you're interested in a rewarding career with a strong Wisconsin company, Rural Mutual Insurance is looking to add to their growing team of successful employees and agents. Apply online today at ruralmutual.com/careers.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
Well, it's the down period for the Packers. They finished up their offseason program last week, now off until training camp gets going at the end of July. And the Wisconsin football team's offseason program got going earlier this month. They opened the season September 3rd against Illinois State. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil, Print.
Hour number 4 of the Bill Michaels Show. June 21st, the first day of summer, warm day, longest day, enjoyable day. Thanks for taking a listen to us. If you want to chime in, phone line's wide open, 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You can hit us up over on Twitter at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels. Over there, Ben Z. Kenny, producing the program, at Ben Z. Kenny. The Facebook fan page carries the Bud Light live stream. So does YouTube and Twitch. YouTube, subscribe absolutely free. Go to youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. Same thing over on Twitch. You can also email the program, thebillmichaels@gmail.com, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. Find us there, and you can also find the website for all the links and such. Simply thebillmichaels.com. That's thebillmichaels.com. Good stuff. This is from Rock, who says, I still think the Brewers are going to make a deal or two. Don't be surprised if they pick up an outfielder and an infielder, maybe even an arm down the stretch if they really believe they're going to win it all. Rock, and again, I would not put it past them to do a couple of deals. I don't think they've got, put it this way, it depends on what the trade capital is, you know? I just, if you're going to do 3 deals, then you're going to do 3 minimal deals. Otherwise, you're doing one big one or a mediocre deal. But I just don't think you're going to give up enough out of the farm system to go out and make multiple deals like that. I just don't. And I think you also have to wait and see what's going to happen with Brandon Woodruff before it's all said and done. Because if, let's say, Kevin Holden, who we had on the show a little bit earlier, let's say Kevin Holden's right, and that this Raynaud's disease or Raynaud's syndrome or whatever happened, I can't remember what the actual title of it is, but with the tingling and such in his fingers or the non-feeling in his fingers, let's say that doesn't come back. Then what? Is it August? The end of July? September? next season? When is he going? You may need another starter before it's all said and done. So you're not jumping on now. You need a bat. Okay, there's no doubt about that. So you could go out and get a bat, but to get a top-notch starter, I just don't think that's going to happen. It's certainly not 3 different guys. 877-867-1670. This one's from Mark, who says, what do you think of Brooks Koepka? And we talked about this in the first really segment of the program. What do you think of Brooks Koepka heading over to the Live Tour? Does he look like a hypocrite? Absolutely. He was a guy that was pretty.
He's a bum.
He's a bum. I think he's a guy that got stuck between a rock and a hard place, and we all know, look, he's kind of a jag. He's just that guy, you know. He was somewhat outspoken, said that he didn't want to talk about it, that it's all in the rearview mirror. We're talking about a tournament that took place a week ago. He said all of that over there at the U.S. Open, when the whole time he knew once the U.S. Open was done, he's pretty much jumping ship. The Live Golf Tour has now signed 8 of the top 50 players in the world. Bryson DeChambeau ranked 30th, Patrick Reed 38th. They're expected to compete in the event in Portland as well. Jay Monahan, the PGA Tour commissioner, has suspended 17 players, including 2-time major winner Dustin Johnson and Phil Mickelson, because they've gone to this Live Golf inaugural event outside of London. They're done. Monahan meeting with the players today at the Travelers Championship, basically saying, hey, we're increasing purses. We're going to change a little bit of the schedule. We're going to make it more accommodating for you. This, yes, is in response to the Live tournament. We don't want you to go there. We're going to keep the honor and the prestige and such and all of that. And, you know, Koepka joining his longtime friend Johnson and his brother Chase Koepka, who also competed in London. You know, so, and that was the other thing, because Brooks Koepka, his brother, was on the Live Tour when he said, well, why are you guys asking these questions? Because it was relevant. And what was the other claim about this new media? What are we talking about, new media? Whether you're an online podcaster or whether you're a radio broadcaster, paper, newspaper, I don't want to say paper anymore, but you get it, a reporter of some type, a television anchor, whatever it happens to be. Media is media, man. The questions get asked. If it's relevant, questions get asked. So I don't, all these guys that talk about new media and being questioned and how dare you, and what the hell? They're legitimate questions. People want to know certain things, whether it's, TMZ or ESPN, doesn't matter. It's always the same thing. It's blame the media. No, there's questions to it, and people get bent about it. But it is what it is. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Yes, Ben.
I do think quickly there is another level of cowardice to this whole thing, where the guys that went to the first one, you have a little bit of respect for them because they took all the heat and they didn't even care what any of the media or the public said. Mm-hmm. But the second wave of guys that saw the other guys go first and they took the first bullets, then these new guys are going to just slide in under the rug. I think there is another level of cowardice associated with that. Yeah. That some didn't want their reputations to be tarnished while they were missing the cut at the U.S. Open. Right. So now they'll go to the Live afterwards. Yeah. I think it's a joke. Yep.
No, I get it. I wholeheartedly. And Mark says, this reminds me of when Cart and IndyCar split. Yeah, we talked about that last week. Back when you had 2 viable options and put them all together and they're a powerhouse. They always were. And now you split them apart and it weakens both. There's no real true winner here. There's just draw your line in the sand, and then you pick the side that you want to root for and want to believe in and see how it goes from there. I agree. It doesn't do anything but hurt the sport more than anything. This one's from Kathy, who says, did you watch the game last night? Who are you choosing now in the Stanley Cup final? Still taking Colorado. Still taking the Avalanche. Tampa Bay, their backs were against the wall. They had to get a win. Could be playing in Tampa Bay again. And Nikita Kucherov likely to play in Game 4 as well, even though Braden Point is somewhat doubtful. But big win last night for Tampa Bay. Absolutely. Big win. They had to get that was like if you don't win that game and the Avalanche go up 3-0, it's just a matter. It's not if, it's when they win the championship. But at least last night you get the win. You bring it back to 2-1. You trail. If you can even up the series, you got that breath of hope now. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. What was that, Ben? A Yankee fan called?
Yeah, he wanted to know your thoughts on how Anthony Rizzo has performed on the Yankees this year. And I said I would pass it along.
Well, I don't follow in-depth Anthony Rizzo by any stretch of the imagination, but he is underperformed, I guess, might be the best way to put it. So not getting Anthony Rizzo over first base for the Brewers has not, don't get me wrong, he's got 19 homers. His power numbers and his OPS are really, really good. He's not giving you that batting average that you wanted for, but he's still hitting, last I checked, and I don't check, but wasn't he over like 320, 325 or something like that for an on-base percentage, so doing pretty good. But 19 dingers, that I do know. 19, he's second on the team, I think, only behind Aaron Judge for home runs and RBIs. So Anthony Rizzo, while you would like to see a better batting average, the power numbers of what you were hoping for are there. Now, had you brought him in as a starting first baseman for the Brewers with that right field porch, I'd have taken it. Taken it in a heartbeat. So maybe, here, put it this way. Do you think, as a Yankee fan, is he underperforming or the power numbers make up for everything? The fact that he's only 6 behind Judge. And Judge, by the way, I think he has 25 on the season, if I'm not mistaken. I think I read that. So he's got 25 on the season. Rizzo's got 19. 19. So when you look at where the state of the Brewers are right now, and you look at their numbers and what you've got over at first base with Rowdy Tellez has 10 home runs, but he's batting .253. Would you take the 19 home runs and the close to 50 runs batted in already, but a .230 something batting average over? And I know what Rowdy Tellez is. I was just reading it because he's got 10 home runs batting .253, but his OPS is 776, but only 39 runs batted in. Which would you take? The power numbers are the sexy numbers. Which would you take, Ben?
I'd take Rizzo's line overall.
I probably would too. I hate to admit that, but I probably would too.
Tellez has been impressive. He's been a pleasant surprise, I'd say, so far this year.
Here's the other thing to think about. For the money, would you rather take Rizzo, batting .238 with 19 home runs and an OPS of 864, or would you take Tellez?
Should I account for inflation here? Like if we're prorating? Or I doubt Anthony Rizzo drives to the ballpark. I'm sure he's somewhere in New York. He takes a subway. No, for the money, I'd probably take Rizzo because he is still, you look like high 800s OPS.
Yeah.
And trending at least pretty well. I would still take that for the money, even though Tellez is making nothing.
That's just it. For the money, you're getting similar results, I guess. Interesting. For the money, as a Brewers fan, would you take Anthony Rizzo or Rowdy Tellez? That's a good question. What is Rizzo making? Do you have Rizzo's salary there in front of you by any chance? What is Rizzo making right now?
He signed a 4-year, $60 million. I'm sorry. 2-year, $32 million. That was last season.
2-year, $32 million. So he's making what? $16 million a year. $16 million. Rowdy Tellez isn't even making $2 Rowdy Tellez, 1.94. So for the numbers, for the money, would you rather have Anthony Rizzo or Rowdy Tellez? $16 million for 19 home runs right now, or $1.9 million for 10 home runs right now. That's a boy. Ugh. That's tough. That's tough. 877-867-1670. Let's do this. We'll step away, take a quick break, pick up where we left off. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends Jeff and Alicia and the gang at Stoley's Hog Alley and Stoles 0109. Hog Alley's coming right along. I was just past there over the weekend. They've got the Tyvek up. They're adding the new addition to the place. It continues to grow. It continues to expand. It continues to morph into this beautiful place that it's going to be come, say, the end of August into September. Stoles 0109 is fantastic. I mean, that place, once you open those garage doors up, man, it's a great place. You just go in there and just kind of hang out and entertainment on the weekend. Check out Stoley's Hog Alley or Stoles 0109 up in Watertown. Either place, absolutely, positively fantastic. Stay tuned. We got more of the Bill Michaels Show. It's coming up right after this.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Things in Wisconsin that are meant for each other.
Beer and brats.
Now you're talking.
Chicago and playoff losses.
Delicious.
Sunshine in Pella windows.
Gina Della from Pella.
44% more natural light enters your home when we install our innovative hidden screen. Available exclusively on Pella 250 series single hung, double hung, and sliding windows. It's super easy and sleek. The window screen folds away when closed, keeping it clean from the elements and preventing bugs from entering your home thanks to a tight seal. Best of all, you and your home get to bask in all of that extra sunlight.
Yeah, but the wear and tear from opening and closing screens.
It was designed and tested to last 9,400 cycles, the equivalent to opening and closing it every day for 25 years.
Man, that's got to be expensive.
Choose 0% financing for 72 months or a free upgrade to the hidden screen in our 250 series.
Whoa, I need to jump on that now.
Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. See Pella Experience Center for details.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. Glad to have you. The Bill Michaels Show. We continue on. Hey, kudos to our buddy Tom and the whole staff at Boondocks. Over the weekend on Saturday, we did the Wisconsin Hero Outdoors ride, and man, what a terrific job they did in raising money. Over 100 motorcycles. Great party at Boondocks. After the fact, the food was outstanding. I mean, just outstanding. So thanks to Tom and everybody from the staff and management of Boondocks Barbecue, Burgers, and Brew out there in Oconomowoc. It was a lot of fun. It was a really, really good time. And always remember that they're right there on County Road K in Oconomowoc. But kudos to them. What a really good event. Breaking Cadence was fantastic, the band. But a lot of compliments going out to not only the chef out there, but for them and Mikey Whitcomb and all those that gang. As well for organizing that event. Really fun ride. Beautiful ride, but really fun ride. So kudos to them. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. So I put it out there. I said, when you look at all of this and you look at the kind of comparison, it's, would you take Rowdy Tellez making $1.94 million, or a guy like Anthony Rizzo making, what was it? I think $16 million or $12 million, whatever it is. But regardless, when you look at that for the money, it's kind of like, well, I take Rowdy Tellez. 10 home runs, 39 RBI, batting average of 253 and a 776 OPS for $1.94 million. Or the Yankees paying Anthony Rizzo for 19 home runs, 49 RBIs, 10. So he's got 9 more home runs, 10 more RBI. He's got less. He's almost 15 points lower in batting average, but 80 points higher in OPS. He's making $16 million. For the money, would you take Tellez or Anthony Rizzo? The one thing about Rizzo is he does hit with runners in scoring position. His numbers are pretty good, and he's hit pretty well on the season in clutch situations. So, which one would you rather have? Which one would you rather have in your fold, so to speak? He's batting .298 with runners on. Anthony Rizzo is. He's batting .267 with runners in scoring position, .375 with the bases loaded, and he's hitting just above .230 with runners in scoring position and 2 out. Which is those are pretty phenomenal numbers. Rowdy Tellez, he's hitting 280 and 333 with runners in scoring position. Rowdy Tellez is hitting 667 with bases loaded. And with 2 out and runners in scoring position, Rowdy Tellez is hitting 273. His numbers are better. Think about that for a minute. That's pretty solid. That is really solid, actually, when you think about it. Against lefties, Anthony Rizzo hitting 222, against righties 245. Rowdy Tellez against lefties, 231 and 260 against righties. His big difference is home and road. At home, Rowdy Tellez is a manimal, hitting 312. Away, 212. Rizzo hitting at home, 254, 218 away. They're very similar. It's just the power numbers are different. The power numbers in the OPS. But if you get into the WAR, Rowdy Tellez is 0.4, Anthony Rizzo is 1.7 in WAR numbers. Wins above replacement. But it really does, if you have to think about it in terms of money, for the bargain, wouldn't you? You'd probably take Rowdy Tellez, wouldn't you, Ben?
Yeah, definitely, given the constraints, I guess, that of the Brewers face with Lorenzo Cain and Yelich making all the money that they've made.
Now, the thing about, don't forget, Rizzo has hit 4 home runs in the last 5 days. Or last, I think, 5 games, I think is what it is, 5 games. So he, he's been on somewhat of a power surge as of late. But still, I mean, when you look at the numbers and the money, you'd almost say now defensively, Rizzo's a better defender at first base. That's hands down. I'll give that. But would you rather have Rowdy Tellez or Anthony Rizzo?
I guess, Bill, you could also look at it in terms of what happened this offseason. Would you rather have Tellez and the contract they gave to McCutchen, or just have Rizzo at first base?
Right.
Is there ways to dice it out where
Right.
like Tellez makes this much and Adames makes this much and they're both playing well, but then at the same time, you obviously gave that money to McCutchen that hasn't worked out yet.
Yep. Anthony Rizzo, by the way, when I go back to those numbers, when I was talking about this, over the last 7 days, Anthony Rizzo hitting 429 with an OPS of 1.538. 327 he's batting over the last 15 days. But in the last 7 days, he's batting 429. Whereas Rowdy Tellez is just batting his average. He's hitting 278. Over the last 15 days, he's hitting 275. The numbers have remained pretty steady. Nothing crazy. So it's Rizzo's numbers are relevant because he has really had a dramatic upturn over the last couple of weeks. But up until that point, you take Rowdy Tellez every damn day of the week. If Rizzo keeps this pace up, then you take Rizzo hands down. But where they stand right now, I think for the money and what else you can go out and get, if you have, say, a budget to stick to, probably take Rowdy Tellez. But I will say, when you look at the power numbers, over the last 30 days, Rowdy Tellez is 25 of 94 with only 1 home run. He hit 4 in the month of April and 6 in the month of May. And since then, he has not hit a home run in all of June. And that's when you figured he would, especially when you're talking about playing in parks like American Family Field, like Great American Ballpark. You figure he would go yard at some point, and he hasn't. They have started pitching him low and away more and more and more. 877-867-1670. If you want to find us, please feel free. By the way, Rob Gronkowski retiring. He's not coming back to play with Tom Brady. Not coming back. Some breaking news there from Adam Schefter. So I would assume Rob Gronkowski eventually is going to join Ryan Fitzpatrick or a cast and crew somewhere. I think he's still under contract with Fox, if I'm not mistaken. But Ryan Fitzpatrick today named as part of the official Amazon Prime Thursday Night Football pregame, halftime report, and postgame coverage. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Fitzmagic, is going to the broadcast booth, or I should say into the broadcast studio. In the meantime, Rob Gronkowski has just officially retired, and we will find out if he ends up going back to Fox or not. we'll see. But that's also just breaking. Scott says, every day of the week I take Rowdy Tellez. He seems to elevate his team at the right time. Skolander says, are you crazy? Anthony Rizzo is 10 times the player that Rowdy Tellez is and a better defender. I would take him and his salary. This is from Steven. Steven says, Rowdy Tellez. Paragon Pianist says, take Anthony Rizzo, even though I hate the Yankees. Okay. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You want to hit us up, feel free. A couple of segments to go in the program before we get out of here. This portion of the program also brought to you by our good friends over there, Burn Pit Barbecue. Burn Pit Barbecue sauce. Look, if you're going down to Robert Specialty Meats and you're getting some of that fine meat that he serves down there, whether it's a steak, whether it's ribs, whatever, or just the Al Capone roast, you want to put some rub on it, you want to put a hot sauce with it, you want to put some of that good barbecue sauce in it, go to burnpitbbq.com. That is burnpitbbq.com, burnpitbbq.com. I've been telling you about it for a while. Good, delicious stuff. They keep expanding too, and they're veteran-owned, and they're based right here in the state of Wisconsin. Keep supporting them. burnpitbbq.com. That is burnpitbbq.com. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
At Quick Trip, we're celebrating Dairy Days with even greater savings. Now, for a limited time, Nature's Touch milk. Non-fat, 1%, 2%. Fresh from our dairy. On sale, just $2.99 a gallon. Nature's Touch ice cream, 4-quart vanilla, just $4.99. A pound of Nature's Touch butter, just $2.49. Hey, we're milking this for all we got. Sorry, that was cheesy. Oh, and Ellsworth cheese curds. An 8-ounce bag, $1.99. Quick Trip, we got your Dairy Days savings covered. Limit 5 each. See you next time.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome. A couple of segments to go before we get out of here. You got Mark who shot us an email and said, look, we were spending about $600 to $700 a unit with chemical treatments over the span of 3 to 6 months. They switched over to Milwaukee Bedbug Pros, and it's eliminated all of their problems in one appointment. We've been telling you, thank you for the email. We've been telling you for a while now, Milwaukee Bedbug Pros, and don't let the name Milwaukee fool you because they go just about everywhere, but a really good company. And if you own multiple units, apartment complexes, or just your house, whatever it happens to be, call them 414-877-5811, 414-877-5811. And this time of year, you start to get the different creepy crawlies, whether it's the stink bugs, or you have, whether it's roaches or bed bugs, or maybe you just want to do preventative stuff, which is what I ended up doing here. I got rid of all the, because when I first moved in, every now and then I have stink bugs pop up. So they came in, they treated the attic, they treated the rest of the house, and bam, no problem. I think I've seen one bug in the last, 10 months, something like that. MilwaukeeBedbugPros.com. That's MilwaukeeBedbugPros.com, or call them 414-877-5811. That's 414-877-5811. Good people over there, too. Get a hold of Michael, 414-877-5811. Call Michael and tell him we sent you. If you're a property owner, you cannot live without these guys. I'll tell you that right now. You don't want to become one of those property owners. That's for sure. What else do we have here for you? So the Live Tour, it seems like just a few months ago, that some of the world's top golfers were just saying that there's no way they're ever going to the Saudi-backed circuit. Never, especially after Phil Mickelson made his comments. It was a few months ago. Now that a number of the game's biggest names have officially made the move from the PGA to the Live circuit, It seemed like a good time to play everybody's favorite social media game, how it started versus how it's going. And apparently they have started to look at everybody's social media and go back to the words that they've stated and so on and so forth. And you look at a guy like, because Brooks Koepka was a guy that said that he would not do this and went on and on about it. And then all of a sudden, today's the day in which he makes the announcement, yeah, I'm leaving. Bryson DeChambeau's agent, Bryson has always been an innovator, he said. Bryson DeChambeau, the 2020 U.S. Open champion, agreed to play in the Live Golf Series in North Plains, Oregon at Pumpkin Ridge Golf, scheduled for the weekend of July 1st through the 3rd, according to his agent. Being an innovator, having the opportunity to get in on the ground floor of something unique has always been intriguing to him. In other words, we're paying you a lot of money. Paying you a lot of money. So it continues to go up. But the big news of the day coming out of this being the PGA saying the purses are going up. Jay Monahan's done a phenomenal job of getting the purses to go up. We've got 12 million in events now, 20 million events, and they're only going to keep climbing. 5 years, the FedEx Cup winner is going to get 52 million, which is pretty significant, and as they should, they say. So if anything, the money has now come about for the PGA Tour. If anything, the money has gone up, and they're going to try to do everything they can to keep their guys happy. So there you go. 877-867-1670. So the National League ballot leaders right now. Wilson Contreras behind the plate. The Cubs stinking on ice, but Wilson Contreras getting some votes. Then you got the Cardinals, Paul Goldschmidt over at first base. The Marlins, second baseman, Jazz Chisholm. Manny Machado of the Padres at third. Trey Turner of the Dodgers at short. Mookie Betts of the Dodgers in the outfield. Acuna Jr. From the Braves in the outfield. Jock Peterson from the Giants in the outfield. And the DH would then be the Philadelphia Phillies' Bryce Harper. Those are the MLB All-Star ballot vote leaders right now. Not a Brewer to be found. Are the Brewers being slighted in any way, shape, or form? My answer to that would be no. Ben, can you think of a Brewer other than a pitcher that's deserving of going to the All-Star game?
If you made Omar Narvaez and Victor Caratini the same person, then yes, but otherwise, no.
Yeah, there's nothing else there. I agree. You can't. No, not Willie. Mark says Willie Adames. No, come on. Can't do that. You could make a case, I guess, with 13 home runs for Hunter Renfroe, but not batting .259 with an OPS of 798. Not going to happen. Other than that, no. Can't think of anybody. Nobody else on that team. Victor Caratini's hitting .261, but he only appeared in 30 games. He does, but he's still under 100 at bats this season. So nope, nobody else. That's for a team that's leading their division. It's a little bit surprising. But then again, when I read that, did you notice what else there's a lack of there? No New York Mets. The Mets are leading their division, so it's not awful that the Brewers don't have anybody going to the All-Star game when it comes to positional players. So you can't count. I mean, the Mets you can't count out. Ain't going to happen. There's nobody right now that's deserving. But if you also look, the Mets are leading their division and nobody going. But you do have Acuna Jr. from the Braves and Bryce Harper from the Phillies. The two teams that are chasing them. You got Paul Goldschmidt from the Cardinals. And the Cardinals are chasing the Brewers. But you've only got one Cardinal in there. It's not like you're predominantly Dodgers or predominantly Cardinals or predominantly, Mets or anything like that. It's a decent spread as far as vote getters right now, legitimate vote getters. Not surprising. With the season the Brewers are having, it's just, or the positional players are having, it's not going to happen. 877-867-1670. You got something to say? Say it. Real quick, I want to say our friends at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, do not forget, on a day like today, I'm telling you, you'll feel it. I don't know if you can hear it when it does or doesn't run, but the air conditioning in the background, it doesn't run a ton. Today, it's right now, it's sitting at 92 degrees, at least where I live. And while the air conditioning runs, the house is comfortable. I'm sitting at, I set it at 71. It stays there. Even when I got home yesterday after that hot day, and I live in a house with 0 ducts. I've got the drop down air conditioning that comes from the ceiling that goes to the base. It stays constant. It's awesome. So these Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, I'm telling you, they work. They're economical. They can help you out. Keep the heat out in the summer and the cold out in the wintertime. Plus, they look great. Plus, they're operationally easy. They've got new innovations like the roll screen, like the screen now that is good for 25 years as far as rolling the thing up and down. And it lets in more light, keeps the bugs out. It's awesome. And they've got things like the slider windows. All these innovations have won awards. I'm telling you, Pella's the way to go. Go to PellaWI.com. That is Pella, P-E-L-L-A, PellaWI.com, or call them, 855-PELLA-WI, and get that free in-home consultation. They'll come out. They'll show you everything. You pick out your windows. You pick out your interior. You pick out the exterior. You can pick out your hardware. They'll custom measure. They'll custom manufacture, assemble, and then custom install with warranty in your home. It's a great experience. Get a hold of our friends at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Go to PellaWI.com. That is Pella, P-E-L-L-A, PellaWI.com, or call them 855-PELLA-WI. That's 855-PELLA-WI. Stick around. Another segment of the Bill Michaels Show yet to go right after this.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Wisconsin isn't snobby, snooty, or pretentious. It's Midwestern charm at its finest. And that's exactly what Forgotten Fire Winery in Peshtigo is all about. Fun in a bottle without the attitude. You can find their full wine and cider lineup in their tasting room or in liquor and grocery stores throughout the state. The winery is a great place to get away. For wine and cider tastings, great live music, and private events all year long. Remember, any time is a great time for Forgotten Fire wines and ciders. Wisconsin wine made from Wisconsin people.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
it is steep. I agree with that. But again, if you're inside that territory and you've been one that's been saying, hey, I cut the cord from cable, I don't watch Hulu, I don't watch YouTube, whatever, and now you got the Bally Sports app that you can watch the Brewers games on for $20 a month, or Bally or Brewers and Bucks games for the entire year for $190 a year. Considering some people pay for cable just to be able to get the sports app at anywhere from $100 to $150 a month, it's actually a bargain. But like me, I mean, I pay for the whole shebang. I mean, I have Spectrum, so I get the whole deal. But nevertheless, I mean, it's if you just want to watch sports and your hometown teams, that's a way to do it. $20 a month. I get it. Everything's a subscription. Everything sucks. And Hulu keeps going up. You know, I mean, I've got Spectrum, I've got Hulu, I've got Netflix, all of that. And Hulu keeps going up. I guess it's because they keep paying these athletes to sit on these yachts and throw money around. It's like, I wonder what the actual subscription would be if they weren't paying all this crap to say Hulu has live sports, paying all the millions to the different athletes. But there you go. Now, at least you have the ability to get Brewers games if you're in the territory. I don't know what the specific territory is. So if you're listening in La Crosse, Rice Lake, if you're listening in Eau Claire, I mean, I don't know. You tell me. You tell me if you can get it. But that app goes live on Thursday, which should then get you the Brewers game. So be interested to see if anybody gets it and gets that app and how that works in those territories towards the western portion and western north portion of the state of Wisconsin. But at least now you got an opportunity. There you go. Tomorrow on the program, we're going to talk a little racing. I think our buddy John, the media relations director from Road America, is going to be joining us. We'll talk with him about the upcoming NASCAR weekend, which is next week, not this coming weekend, but next weekend, going into the July 4th holiday. So NASCAR is going to be running up at Road America, and just to kind of give you a refresher, because last year was a big year. It was the opening launch year, the 4th of July party, all that stuff. This year, it is even bigger. They've done a lot of, track amenities. So we're going to let you know about that coming up tomorrow on the program. What else do we have tomorrow, Ben? Anything in particular? We'll recap, obviously, game 2 between the Brewers and the Cardinals. We'll go there. Is there anything else? Maybe more defections from the PGA to the Live Tour? I hope not.
I like the word defect that it's being used in this setting. It's funny.
Okay.
Nothing in particular. Working on something sizable, but not ready to share it over the airwaves.
Okay. Something sizable. I like that. The show is named The Bill Michaels Show, and I'm in the dark. I like that. I don't mind showing up blind every now and then. If it's going to smack you right in the grill and be great, no problem there.
Yeah, I'm tracking down the barbershop woman.
Yeah, the barbershop incident from earlier. Look, if you missed the first hour of the program and the couple of things where you, under the heading of what the hell has gone wrong with people, which I think I put it a little more strongly on the Bud Light live stream and over on Twitter, but you get the point. 2 incidents in a matter of about 16 hours. Like, what the hell? People have gone nuts. So you can go back. You can always listen to the program on Spotify. You can find us on Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts. You can always find it at thebillmichaels.com, thebillmichaels.com. You can go and re-listen. Until we talk again, time for us to go.